I know it feels like Monday, but it's not. It's Tuesday. Happy day after Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Kind of had a wet one. Yeah, we got a little rain, you may have noticed. Maybe I can say, we need every drop of moisture, so you'll never hear me complain. But maybe we don't need it all at once.
Can I? Can I complain? You can not complain. I want to complain.
Yeah, we got all of it at once. What do we get? I think we got probably 4 or 5 inches over.
At least a few inches.
Yeah.
At least a few inches. I've been married for a lot of years, so I have no way of measuring. But it was bad. And honestly, and this is my main complaint. Not the weather, not the tornadoes, not the torrential downpours, the gigantic puddles. To the National Weather Service, if you could kindly get your crap together, get one number to send me storm report warnings, because literally my entire phone is storm report, and it's a different number every single time. So I cannot find any other text messages I need when I am driving and shouldn't be looking at my phone. Not the point.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble. You can't blame the National Weather Service.
I don't know who I have to blame or who I need to hurt, but it's insane.
It's our weather service that our boss has us hooked into.
I know.
So, yeah.
The one person I need to listen to me couldn't possibly be right now.
But yeah, we got a few of those. I was getting I
had to turn the sound off of my phone because every bing.
Well, what makes it very crazy is when it was an event like this weekend and it was all over southeast New Mexico. Yep. So we'd get the Chavez and Lincoln stuff, and then we'd start getting Eddie and Lee.
Roosevelt.
Or vice versa. It'd start with Eddie and Lee and then work our way here. And it was, so we were getting the entire Pecos Valley.
That was kind of fun in that I could kind of track the storm in real time. Yeah. Most of my friends were like, "Hey, Sean, where's the storm now?" I'm like, "Well, it's heading to Lincoln, last I heard." So I mean, and yeah, it's rough go. I mean, I know the streets are mostly cleared up. It's
South End got
real bad down south.
Yeah, South End, as it does, it seems like whenever we get a lot of rain, it all goes to the South End.
Yeah,
but
it drains south. Pro tip.
Well, that's where most of the weather went. Like I was watching the radars and stuff.
Well, it hit in Dexter and swept across the south side of south swath.
We were I live over by the hospital area, by Eastern Hospital.
Same, but other side, basically.
Yeah, and that was kind of the line just south of us of we got rain, we got but we didn't get all the stuff that was going south, all the storms.
Yeah, no, we got just the edge of it.
Yeah.
But then I drove down to the base. And here, by the way, pro tip, if you need to get onto the base, take 285. Take 285 to Hobson.
Well, they closed it overnight. Right. Was it Saturday into Sunday?
Saturday into Sunday.
Yeah.
I ventured out there, yesterday for a moment, but it's rough going. Take 285 to Hobson. That's the only way I was able to get in.
And then I saw Nook on the news last night. Nook from Asian Market. Of course, they got flooded. I'm sure a lot of other places in that area did as well, but she was on the news. And first thing I said, there's Nook. Her place is flooded. She's just happy-go-lucky doing her, because it's a bummer, but she's on this this got a lot of water, and then she starts laughing, and I'm like, man, Nook's just got this outlook on life. That,
you have to figure she's come from hard times, and she came up the right way.
Yeah.
So
I saw her on the news, and sure enough, her place has got 3-4 inches of water standing in it.
Man,
she's just going with the punches, So like a lot of us do, but hopefully everyone made it out okay and are probably dealing with the cleanups and stuff here. But
I'm gonna need some towels.
We have more moisture potentially coming this week. We got rain aplenty, and looks like we got chances pretty much all week this week.
You know what?
Too,
I blame you. I blame you.
Why me?
Because you're talking about it. You put it in the ether. I know that it's on there, but you put it out there.
Radio Man, the only one.
Radio Man, you put it in the airwaves.
Go yell at Steve Stucker. He's put it out there too.
You salted the clouds with your salty words, salty man.
Well, our ranchers got to be happy. I mean,
absolutely.
They need the water.
I was
we
thinking,
don't need the water.
This is going to be a great green chili season if this keeps up the way this is going.
Well, it was rough before this. I mean, even I saw yesterday, we needed 12 inches of rain going into all this to get us out of the drought. That's basically a year's worth of rain is what we needed prior to this weekend.
I know we didn't hit that.
No, but I bet we got about good 5 of it.
I'd say probably.
Yeah.
Dude, I took the wrong road onto the base, and I was scared I was going to flood my car. Literally, water was coming up over the hood of my car. I was like, I'm underwater right now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And his car looks like one of those nylon eggs they put pantyhose in.
It's true.
So.
It's true. Everybody's got a thing, too. I was talking to a friend who was down there. He's like, oh, don't worry. If I need to, I'll just, I'll throw your little matchbox up on the back of my truck. I'm like, it's not that small. I have seen smaller vehicles in this town.
Just pull that silly putty out of that egg your car came in.
It's pretty funny that my mindset is that in the land of the little people, the dwarf is the king. That's basically my car. It's like, I've seen smart cars. I can fit a family in my car and a suitcase.
Yeah.
What now? Just one, but what now?
And a pair of drawers in the glove box.
That's
What's up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they're bikini briefs, not boxers. Too big for that. But,
I just tuck those into the seat. There's not a lot of extra room, right?
Well, happy Monday, or Tuesday, actually. Happy first part of your week here this morning.
Post Memorial Day.
Yeah.
You feeling the unofficial start to summer? Boy, it feels like it, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Well, let me give you the rundown
Yeah.
for today's show. Or this hour, here in just a bit, Robert Sherman with the Walker Aviation Museum is going to join us for his monthly visit, as it is the 1st of June. We are in a new month now. So Robert will join us, give us an update on things there at the museum. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to play our interview we had on Friday with the ladies from Healthy Kids Chavez County. Also, Shelley Montgomery, the Dexter School's food supervisor, I guess. I don't know. She's in charge of food services for Dexter. But anyway, they came and talked about summer food programs for the kids throughout the county, all kind of stuff here. So some great information there. So we're going to play that for you in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, there's going to be 1 or 2 interviews that I play with, in case you haven't heard all about this, but in later this month in June, they are having a cool... the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is having the 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit that's going to be in Artesia, June 11th through the 14th. And it's a pretty big deal. It's just the first time this mobile exhibit has been in the state of New Mexico, and they're bringing it to Artesia. It's going to be there a few days. But they're going to come through Roswell. They've got all kinds of events planned. And then, but Gene, in our sister station in Artesia, Gene Dow, he got a chance to talk to a couple people that are involved with this. One is, I believe, a firefighter that was there at 9/11, and he's kind of the curator for the museum, and his daughter, who's an author talking about the events of 9/11, everything else. But Gene interviewed both those individuals and talking about the event, but talking a little bit about the story. I figured might play some of that in the 9 o'clock hour this morning, and you'll also learn more about the Tunnel to Towers 9/11 mobile exhibit that will be in Artesia. Again, that's going to be June 11th through the 14th. It's a pretty cool deal. So we're going to play those interviews about 9:15 or so. Plus, we'll have all your hourly features that include your local news, your town hall news, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. We'll also have your livestock report with Smiley Wooten this morning for you Tuesday, which I guess it'll be the start of one because it was Memorial Day yesterday. So usually get the recap. So I'm guessing today won't be that. All right, it is 7:15. Let's go ahead and get you more up to date on that weather. Yeah, we got some more rain coming. Hopefully not in the amounts we got over the weekend, but more moisture nonetheless. Thank you, Steve. Currently 63 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 84%. Winds out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. Yeah, we got a 30% chance at some storms this afternoon, mainly after 4 o'clock today. Mostly cloudy this morning, gradually clearing for the day with a high near 80, 78 officially with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 40% chance of rain tonight. They say some of these storms could be severe, mostly cloudy. Overnight low 56 with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, your Wednesday, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny. High of 82 tomorrow with north winds 5 to 10. 30% chance of rain Thursday night. Wednesday night. Thursday, we're looking at a 40% chance at some showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny otherwise with a high of 85. Friday, we're looking at a 40% chance at showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, highs around 85. And then your weekend, a 20% chance on Saturday, mostly sunny, highs near 90. Sunday, we're looking at a 20% chance, partly cloudy, highs right around 94. So that's what we're looking at weather-wise here the next couple days. All right, it is 7:17. Let's get you into your Roswell Livestock Report for you Tuesday morning with Smiley Wooten. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then Robert Sherman will join us on the other side from the Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
21 and get whole home security with Zenith Security Services, LLC.
PTS Office Systems wants to shout out and congratulate the class of 2021 for your hard work. With so many difficult circumstances to deal with, your hard work is recognized by PTS Office Systems. PTS Office Systems, a proud supporter of our communities.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, we have Robert Sherman back with us. Morning, sir.
Morning. I just got dried off, and here I am.
About to say, how'd you and your family do okay in the storm and everything? Or I know anything down south probably got some standing water,
I'm fine up where my house was.
Okay, good.
My yard saying, thank you.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you can't complain about that.
That's right.
This is a double-edged sword. It's like, no, we need every drop of that moisture. We just maybe don't need it all in one weekend, but we'll see, But for folks that aren't familiar, the Walker Aviation Museum, it's located inside the air terminal, and it is a museum that is dedicated to, promoting STEM and that kind of stuff for kids, but also preserving and exploring our history of the Walker Air Force Base. Prior to that, the Roswell Army Airfield that was located at the south end of town here, that had played a vital role in our during the Cold War era. The museum also spends a focus on our during the Cold War era, the nuclear missile silos that were spread out throughout this area, and talks about and is an homage to that as well too. So.
Right. When you combine the missile silos and the Walker Air Force Base, Roswell was I'm sure a major target in the Soviet Union.
I'm sure there was
the Cold War.
Probably a few of their versions of the nukes pointed at us down in this area too.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, today later on I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the B-47.
Okay.
That was there at Walker just for a few years, and in the 1950s, and then last month. I briefed on the B-36, the history of the B-36 that was here. And next month I will go into some of the historical and operational stuff about the B-47. Today I'll talk a little bit about the development of the B-47. Also, before we get started, I'd like to make a sad announcement. Recent passing of Senior Master Sergeant Bob Pottle.
Yeah.
He passed away recently, and he was
passed.
a member of our board from the very beginning, and past president of the board, and one of the main mannequins in our museum is wearing Bob's dress blue uniform.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know he's an integral part of what everything is going on in the Walker Aviation Museum.
And he was a B-36 maintenance
he's
crew chief type guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's his plane.
Yeah.
So pilots.
That's right. No. It's the crew chief's plane.
Yeah, that's the crew chief's plane.
My dad was the crew chief B-29 Saipan, he gave permission for the pilots.
Yeah, the pilot is allowed to fly it. It's the crew chief's plane. And if you notice, when you look at wherever they keep the names on the planes, depends on the plane. It's different spots, different planes.
Yeah.
They may have a pilot's name, but there's a crew chief name right below it usually there, saying this is the guy who.
I'm sure if you're the crew flying that airplane off near enemy territory, you're thinking about, I hope that crew chief knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, and if folks were to get a small sense of it, go watch, particularly like your World War II, Memphis Belle,
right.
Probably not the Red Tails or Tuskegee Airmen, those, I can't remember which movies, but every one of them, when they get to the part out to the field, there's always that crew chief there, and the crew chief every time's like, sir, take care of my plane,
That's right. That's right.
That's his plane, and bring it back to me now, and all that.
It's kind of like you having a car, taking care of it, and then you let your daughter take it for a trip over to wherever.
Exactly.
Say, okay, now be careful with this sucker. Don't overspeed it. Keep it off. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, this month, we're losing, but our vice president, Brigadier General Douglas Murray.
Yes, he's retiring.
He's retiring. He's kind of being held on with NIMI doing some other things, but he's going to be moving to Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, we'll be losing him. So we've lost 2 people. We only had 10 to begin with.
So you're now more than ever could use more folks to come and be a
Correct.
part of the museum and serve on the board, and if you love museums, you love aviation history, or you just love volunteering, that's really, you don't have to be an expert in this stuff. That's there's lots of people that know this, but definitely could use the help and interest in all that stuff. If you got maybe a retired teacher, a science teacher, math teacher would like to help out with the STEM side, all that. But they're always looking for people to be a part of the museum on the board and various other volunteering docents and things like that when the museum opens back up and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, we're currently closed due to the pandemic, but we were just on the verge of opening up, but we'll talk about that in a second. But it's kind of based on the current airline schedules,
sure.
Because if you don't have any airplanes coming in, there's nobody going to be there to look at the museum.
Exactly.
But if we do, there's people come around, they want to come on in.
I got a feeling this summer things are going to start picking up.
Yeah, and we hosted a 32-person caravan tour just about 3 weeks ago or so, and so that was pretty nice. And but with the heavy rain we had on Sunday, I got a telephone call, and it was Scott Stark. And I was thinking, what's Scott calling me for? On that evening. But anyway, we found out that parts of the air terminal had some flooding, about 1 inch of water.
Okay.
Which included the Walker Museum.
Okay.
So we had, I really appreciate Scott giving us the heads up, and then he had his people or people they'd hired or whatever. They came in and moved a lot of stuff out of our storeroom, and they moved all our cabinets around because they had to be lifted up, and they're cleaning the carpets and had dryers going everywhere. So right now our museum is like a bomb went off in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really messed up. So we're going to be going out there next day or two and get a chance just to rearrange stuff.
Sure.
And we're anticipating getting at least one, but if we get this XL Energy grant that we've put in, we hope to get a couple of flight simulators and a touchscreen computer that deals with STEM items.
Okay.
And I know Alan Trevor's also working on a couple touchscreen computers for just people can come in and get a quick 2-minute history of 6 different subjects.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of go a little bit more high tech and kind of self-standing where people can come in and just touch something and hear something about the history of the museum. And also hopefully we'll get some students involved next school year in the STEM touchscreen computer and some flight simulators, and trying to stimulate people that, some of the subjects and some of the STEM items and science, technology, engineering, math that's available here in southeastern New Mexico. Okay,
very good. Well, we're excited to start seeing when that stuff starts coming in and happening and things like that. But in the meantime, like I said, folks want to get involved in stuff, please go to the website. That's a great way to get. If you go to the www.wafbmuseum.org, short for Walker Air Force Base Museum, there you can learn all about the museum, the website, learn the history, everything else. If you'd like to donate money, financially is a great way to support the museum, especially since they haven't been able to have their golf tournaments and things they like to have that really support the museum and the operations of that museum.
Yeah.
There's a donate now button. You can do that. If you want to learn more about serving on the board or serving in any other volunteer capacities, you can find that through the website as well too. Also a quick way to help the Walker Aviation Museum that really doesn't require any much extra work on your part is the Walker Aviation Museum does participate in the Amazon Smile program.
Right.
For those that aren't familiar with that, that is when you shop through Amazon, you use their Smile portal that you can designate to any of the charities that there's some other great local charities that are on there too. But Walker Aviation Museum is the one, and you'll find a link at the website,
right.
The WAFB Museum website. Once you go through there, bookmark it, and then anytime you shop through Amazon through that portal, a few pennies of your whatever you're buying, the Amazon donates a few pennies, and it kind of adds up. So you get a bunch of people, they spend $100 on there, a few pennies. Next thing you know, the museum gets a nice little check at the end of the month, just for you shopping through Amazon and going through that portal. So you'll find that link also at the website, wafbmuseum.org there too. So that's another extra way you can help out a little bit just when you do your shopping and stuff online. So
yeah, you can just also membership, $50 annually, $25 student, $75 family, $45 for seniors, $30 for veterans, and then corporations have different amounts, so you can check that out. And financial support, obviously we didn't have a golf tournament again in May like we normally do on Armed Forces Day, but we're definitely planning on maybe having something like that in May of 2022.
All right, so look for next year around.
And
Armed
we also
Forces
may
Day.
have some other type of fundraising idea coming up later this year to help us out.
Okay.
But, luckily for us, we work with Goodwill Industries, and they have a lot of people that are looking for jobs, and they pay the salary, and we get them out, the right person out there, and we'll hire some of them. So then we don't have to pay the salary, which is a pretty high part of any budget you might have.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm very familiar on the historical side of Goodwill. Like they'll have some people that kind of do the same thing for us, and that's a great asset for nonprofits to help offset some of the expenses of running a nonprofit with having that job done.
In recent years past, Aircell has always been a good supporter of us, but also in the last just a year or so was Roswell Toyota, XL Energy, Pioneer Bank, Featherstone Development Corp., and a few, doctors and dentists around, Phil Cathy and Paul Engstrom and Lloyd Hughes, friend of mine. I kind of forced him into paying me something. So anyway.
Very cool. So, but again, go to the museum, or for Facebook users, Walker Aviation Museum does have a Facebook page as well. I invite you to like and follow that, and you can stay up to date on what's going on, and of course, learn more about the museum too.
Yeah.
So
Our current board members, of course, myself, Doug Murray, General Murray is leaving, and then Katie Yates, Sandy Correa, and Bob Donnell. Juliana Halverson, Judy Armstrong, Jerry Kloffer, and Friar Jodek Norwacki.
nice.
So anyway, those great folks, and so it's a good team. If you want to help us out and come join our team, it'd be great.
Yeah.
And some other people in the recent past, Haven Seals, updating our inventory. Nola Fulkerson helped us arrange the museum for our best effect, and Scott Stark's always been very helpful over the years, helping us out, and just recently with the flood we had. So appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And we have some STEM items already on display. Thanks to Ron Lynch and XL Energy, we got a bicycle, and we got some couple in the storage that generate electricity to power up a light pole and a fan, so kids can get on there and pedal away and light up stuff. And they have Jacob's Ladder, which is a 10,000 watt generator with lightning that moves up and down 2 rods. And then we got some old aircraft navigation items, slide rules, like I used to use in college. So people, slide rule, what's that? Okay. Well, back when I went to high school, 1959, 60, 61, whatever, you actually had slide rule class. Everybody took slide rule because
you got to be proficient. If you can't do the math, you don't know how to work the tools.
That's right.
To get to the math.
And if you're taking chemistry or physics or had some math problems going on, you had to use a slide rule, and they only went to 3 significant figures, but you can get that on a slide rule. But you kind of need to know how to use one. So kind of a funny story, and that is that my roommates in college used to be some engineers, and they had some slide rules, but theirs was a bamboo kind of plastic covered one, and those are great. But I had one that was aluminum, and the aluminum ones you had to clean like a gun because if you got a little burr, they would actually bind up and they wouldn't move.
Oh.
So you could see people had aluminum slide rules before a big test. They'd take them apart and they'd be greasing them and making sure they're all moving. People think, seriously? I just pull out my little iPhone and just hit the calculator part and go for it.
Yeah, nowadays that's what you do nowadays. But back in the day, before the iPhones,
back before the
calculators,
cheap calculators.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, dark ages.
I know it's so different. I mean, even in the 80s when they started making those calculator phones for a little bit, or not phones, watches.
Oh yeah.
Those
right.
watches. And I remember teachers and everything were like, no, you cannot have that. Da 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 da. It was like a big deal. And now, that calculator watch it's just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
I was looking at something and we're talking about. I want to talk about in just a minute about the knots of airspeed or whatever. So I just hit my phone, hit the speak thing, and I said, "What is the conversion between knots and miles per hour?" Because I'd kind of forgot. I knew it was real close.
Yeah.
And it's 1.15 miles per hour for every 1 knot. So I said, oh, okay, I can just convert this. Instead of talking knots over the radio,
You can convert to miles.
I'll just go to miles per hour that everybody can kind of relate to.
Kind of get into a numbers that people can wrap their head around.
And I kind of forgotten what that was.
Well, good deal. I know we also want to talk a little bit about
B-47?
The B-47. Yeah, absolutely. Which this was this model of aircraft was just there for a few years at Walker.
Yeah,
right?
it was there from 1955 to 1958.
Okay.
In 1957, the B-52 started arriving at Walker. So at that point they started gradually moving the 47s out. I mean, B-47s out. And it was set up to be a long-range 6-engine jet bomber capable of flying at high altitude. And back the requirement came from the U.S. Army Air Force in 1943, same year I was born. So everybody knows how old I am. To develop a new jet bomber, and this requirement was taken up by North American. It was called, their airplane was the XB-45, Convair Aircraft Corporation, the XB-46, Boeing XB-47, and Martin Aircraft Corporation was trying to develop XB-48.
Okay.
So they're all in competition.
Gotcha. Trying to build the best bomber here.
Boeing and Martin went with a 6-engine design. North American and Convair went with a 4-engine design. And Boeing ended up with a 35-degree swept wing from a design from captured German research. And from this point on, this is where the airliners start, going to the swept wing stuff. But anyway, May 1945, the von Karman mission went to inspect secret German aeronautics lab near Brunswick. I guess that's how you pronounce it. The U.S. had already had a swept wing theory based on R.T. Jones at Langley, but seeing the German models of swept-wing aircraft and the extensive supersonic wind tunnel data, when they were visiting this in Germany, George Scherer of the Boeing technical staff went with the swept wing. He got on the phone right there in Germany and said, stop the new bomber design, and when he got back, they went to the swept wing.
Okay.
So I think they were going with more like a B-29 wing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of the few first bombers that size to have a swept wing.
Yeah,
and
right.
everything. Interesting.
And
for folks that don't, what he's saying there, swept wings are wings that are kind of angled back.
Yeah, like a lot of the airliners you see today. Yeah.
Not
like a fighter aircraft that's kind of swept wing back, rather than straight out like a World War II airplane.
Versus like you see a biplane or like the Wright brothers plane where the wing is
or
just
Cessna
straight across. Yeah, or Cessna, something that's straight across. That's
right.
Aircraft that go into higher speeds and things are going to benefit from a swept wing versus.
Right.
But anyway, that's what he's talking about for folks who don't know.
So Boeing, they ended up building 2,032 B-47s.
Okay.
There was an XB-47. There was 2 of those that they initially for research and development. Then B-47A, they had 10 of those. B-47B, 399, and then the B-47E model, 1,341 of those suckers. And then they started to get into the RB, which is reconnaissance. We'll talk about that next month.
Okay.
They had a big, matter of fact, they got shot down by the Russians.
The U-2s?
Some B-47s.
Oh, the B-47s did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was back before nobody talked about it.
Ah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of a lot of stuff.
Did they have the ceilings that some of those?
They had pretty
Spycraft?
high ceiling,
Yeah.
not like the U-2 or anything. But
Okay.
Still
I didn't know
pretty
if they could get up to that area where they're.
But I
putting
think those
pressure.
later models had that higher altitude capability. Okay, the first XB-47 rolled out on 12 September 1947, which is just 6 days later. That's when the U.S. Army Air Force became the U.S. Air Force.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that was on 18 September. So just a few days before they became the U.S. Air Force, the B-47 rolled out. And then the first flight was on the 17th of December 1947. And the reason that's kind of interesting is the Wright brothers had their first 4 flights occurred on 17 December, but in 1903.
Yeah, a few years earlier.
A few years earlier, yeah. And some other, famous people that flew the B-47. The XB-47 was Chuck Yeager.
He probably flew everything in the 50s at some point.
Yeah, besides breaking the speed, speed of sound of other planes.
His X-2 was probably his most famous plane, but he flew in quite a few aircraft in his time.
Yeah. And then in February 1949, the XB-47 flew from Moses Lake Air Force Base, Washington. It's near Spokane. It's been changed the name, now it's an airport. to Andrews Air Force Base, averaging 607 miles per hour, breaking all kinds of coast-to-coast records.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty fast.
Now it's a Joint Base Andrews.
Joint Base Andrews. Yeah, it is. I was stationed at Andrews a couple times.
Yeah, that's where my brother was born. My mother worked there at that Malcolm Grow Hospital for
My daughter was born at
20 years.
Andrews Air Force Base.
Okay, yeah, my brother was same hospital there. My brother was born there. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, now the XB-47, the B-47s had a very flexible wing. As a matter of fact, the wingtip could move a total distance of 17 and a half feet.
Wow.
Up and down, up and down.
That's some big gap.
So sometimes when they would put in flight control, especially when they're going real fast, the wing would sometimes twist and stuff. So they had to put what they call Fowler flaps. Now our mayor may know what that is since he's an aeronautical engineer. But anyway,
is that to keep it from going sideways or
just kind of keep it from twisting and twisting?
Okay.
And what it would actually do is they want to turn left. And they would put the flight controls in, but the wing would twist and it end up turning to the right. Like, seriously? Like what?
Hey, what happened?
Okay. So that happened. And then they carried a crew of 3 people, and it was kind of like a fighter. Had a canopy.
Okay.
And, you had the pilot in front, the co-pilot in the back. And the co-pilot was also the tail gunner. Had a little remote control, had a little tail gun.
Oh, wow.
In the back.
In case he didn't have enough to do while he's sitting.
And then the navigator, they wouldn't give him a window. They just stuck him down the nose because the later models didn't have any windows in the nose. And he was the navigator, but he also was the bombardier.
Oh, so you got 2 jobs. Huh?
Yep. And there was no fuel in the wings like in the B-36 and some of these other big old planes because the wing was too thin and it twisted around and stuff. But it carried 17,000 gallons of self-sealing gas tanks in the upper fuselage. Keep that in mind. The B-29 only carried 5,000 gallons.
Okay.
So 3 times as much gas.
Okay. Which would have been a big deal during that time because they're trying to get planes that could fly across the pond without having to hit a tanker or just refueling or stopping or anything. It was before the age of the air tankers.
And I remember when these planes were here. But anyway, the early engines, when they first came out, had a low power for a heavyweight takeoff with all that fuel and a bomb load and stuff. So they actually put in a little solid rocket. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They had 9 solid fuel rocket bottles on each side of the fuselage, and each of those rocket bottles for a short period of time would put out a blast of about 1,000 foot-pounds of energy.
Wow. That's kind of like the Blue Angels. They have the I think it's a C-130. That's like their escort plane that goes
with take off with some rocket assist?
It's got the rocket assist when it launches. I think it's more for show for them, but
probably.
But they've got that on there.
So there were 18 total for 18,000 pounds of thrust that could, help them get them going.
That's pretty cool.
Then another thing I thought was interesting, the plane when it was at altitude. Now I know the U-2 had a very short, same thing as being when it's at max altitude. The U-2 is very close to being going too fast or stalling, and it's a very small. But the B-47, when you're at max altitude and buzzing along at high speed, was about 5.7 miles per hour. If you went too fast, you were overspeeding the aircraft, and then below that, 5.7 miles per hour, you stalled.
Wow!
So here you have a pilot. They're flying across the ocean, flying a long distance, and he's having to constantly monitor the airspeed and adjusting the throttle because the autopilot at that time was not very accurate. So that it couldn't depend on the autopilot to do that. For example, the 757 airliner today, that window instead of 5.7 miles per hour is 57 miles an hour. So it can go before it gets into a stall or an overspeed.
It's got a little bit bigger
and it's
window.
got really high quality, autopilots, so they don't have to worry about it, And then the other thing was, then I just mentioned that was a critical duty of the co-pilot. Was another thing was they had to, with all those weight of fuel, and as you're using fuel,
you got to
out of one, you have to keep transferring and keep the center of gravity of the aircraft where it's supposed to be. And the co-pilot was very involved with that, of keeping the fuel going, transferring around, and keeping the center of gravity, while the pilot in front was very busy trying to keep it between that 5.7 miles per hour.
Interesting.
And so then when it landed, to get it stopped, because it had to land at 180 miles an hour, approximately, and they got a German-developed 32-foot braking chute that they would pop out the back that helped slow the airplane down.
Okay.
And this is before they had reverse thrust and stuff at this
Gotcha.
time. And then the final thing that I thought was very interesting was when they tried to land, they had the power settings down really, really low. And the engines they had, it took 20 seconds for them to spool up to high power. So if they landed and then realized, you know what, we're not going to make it, we got to take off again and try again, it'd take them 20 seconds to get the engines back up again where they could take off.
That's a scary 20
so
seconds.
they came up with an idea, and I thought it was really, I didn't realize this, but they had a 16-foot ribbon drogue chute they'd put out the back. And that way they could keep the power at medium power settings, and they could come in, and if they needed to go, they could just, boom, really quick. They'd be back up to full power again.
Okay.
And supposedly the airplanes would be flying around for an hour, the airfield, dragging this 16-foot drogue chute so they could practice touch and goes, because they touch down and then they take off again. But if they didn't have that drogue chute, it'd be in that low power and be very difficult unless they had a really long runway like they have at Roswell to take off.
Okay.
So anyway, that's the B-47 and the operational history to be continued next
All
month.
right. Tune in next month when,
Right.
of course, Robert joins us the first Tuesday of the month, 7:15.
That's right.
And so we'll be here in July. That'll be right around the 4th of July holiday there, too.
Yeah, and we're going to be busy between now and then getting the museum back in shape because of the water.
Yeah, they got some water damage.
Yeah,
and,
about a foot, about an inch of water everywhere. But thanks to Scott Stark's group and stuff, they really helped us get that back together. But right now, it's kind of every cabinet, everything has been moved and all around, and everything's been taken out of our storage and scattered around the terminal. So
is the Navy invited to come and help check out, since there's a lot of water?
Actually, we were hoping that we're wishing
guys.
the Mexico Youth Challenge was here because they're so good. They come out and get these big guys to kind of help us move some stuff around.
Yeah.
So I was joking. I'm thinking maybe we can make a recall for all the football team and wrestling team of Goddard and Roswell High to report to the museum.
Yeah, anybody want to help mop and move some water around here? But
I'll move some big heavy cabinets.
move some cabinets around
that's
here.
right.
Absolutely. Again, WAFBmuseum.org
Right.
is the website. You can donate, learn more. Like and follow.
We're at the terminal as you go in the north door.
Yeah.
We're on the right, a big 16-foot screen door that we lift up, and you just kind of becomes part of the
absolutely.
part of the lobby there.
Yeah, it's really easy to find if you go through the main entrance to the terminal, which is kind of the middle.
Yeah, we're about 40, 50 feet away from the TSA check-in area. Yeah.
You'll see it right there, and it's a lot easier to find now that they kind of opened it up there and everything else. But please come and help clean up if you got some time and like to be a part of that too. But well, awesome. We appreciate the visit every month, and we'll see you here next time. And anything else we can do, and as we get closer to getting opening dates and all that, let us know, and we'll get the word out. So,
Mike, you're so good. We could come in here and just say, okay, we're here, and then Mike would just take over and tell us everything you need to know.
Yeah, but people wouldn't want to listen to the show every day if it did that. So.
That's true.
Well, thank you, Robert. We'll see you
I
next
appreciate
time.
it. Thanks, Mike.
All right, it is 7:50. Let's pause for local news and your Kim Commando update, quick break as well. We'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Tragedy in southeast New Mexico, as authorities say a woman drowned after she got caught in a flash flood in Hondo Sunday night. Police responded to the call for help along Alamo Canyon Road. When they arrived, they found the vehicle had been swept away due to flash flooding. The driver not in the car. The body of Heather Garrett was found as many as 6 miles downstream from where her car got caught in the floodwaters. More New Mexico schools are committing to offering full-time in-person learning in the fall, with some virtual learning options. Schools confirming their commitment to widespread in-person learning over the last several weeks include districts that were the most hesitant to reopen, including Albuquerque and Santa Fe. That signals that parents across the state can expect to send their kids through the school doors in the fall. That's a look at local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo.
How fed up is America with big tech? I wanted to find out. Over 6,300 people answered my survey. I'm Kim Commando with a few of the shocking results brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. 86% of Americans don't trust big tech. Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, and Google's parent company, Alphabet. More than 90% of people believe that Facebook, Twitter, and Google have too much influence on politics. You likely heard that Facebook wants to launch Instagram for kids. Now, according to the 6,351 people asked what's the best age to let kids have an Instagram account, 84% say they want their kids over the age of 15. Maybe we're starting to see the damage that social media does to our adult lives and how it's robbing children of a healthy, happy start to their own. Could it be that Americans are finally waking up to the fact that when a product is free, they are in fact the product? I'll be posting the full results to the survey at Commando.com. It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies' summer sale event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. Find deals on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and accessories, plus enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's summer sale event. Still running your business on QuickBooks? More like quicksand. The bigger your company grows, the faster you sync with outdated software. NetSuite by Oracle is the scalable solution you need to run all your key back-office operations. 93% of surveyed organizations increased visibility and control since making the switch from QuickBooks to NetSuite. And NetSuite's offering one-of-a-kind financing. Just head to netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim for special financing.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things could get a little bit bumpy again today with some showers and thunderstorms over our area this afternoon. Some of those storms could have large hail and damaging wind. Our afternoon high today around 80. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, partly cloudy overnight and down to the low 60s. For tomorrow, we'll start off fair, but we could pick up more afternoon storms and our high in the mid-80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Quite a day for the Goddard baseball team on Saturday, playing at Lovington in a doubleheader. Goddard smashes the host Wildcats 22-1 and 22-1. Identical scores. Hey, how much fun is that? Not much if you're the Wildcats, who, by the way, got a measure of revenge on the same day at Goddard in softball. Goddard falls to Lovington in 2 there, 9-4 and 17-6. The state wrestling took place over on Saturday for Class 5A, and a couple of matches won by a couple of Roswell wrestlers. For instance, Kevin Alarcon at 152. He won a couple of matches there. And Gustavo Areola won 2 matches at 170 pounds. Gustavo was a senior for the Coyotes. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. Johnson & Johnson is asking for Supreme Court review of a $2 billion verdict in favor of women who claim they developed ovarian cancer from using the company's talc products. Johnson & Johnson argues that the company didn't get a fair shake in a trial in state court in Missouri that resulted in an initial $4.7 billion verdict in favor of 22 women who used the products and developed ovarian cancer. The global economic rebound from the pandemic has picked up speed, but remains uneven across countries and faces multiple headwinds. Most worrisome, the lack of vaccines in poorer nations, which could lead to new virus variants and more stop-and-go lockdowns. Those were the key points from the latest economic outlook published Monday by the Paris-based Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Customizable office equipment is one stop away at PTS Office Systems. Of course, you and the business next door do different things, so you need different office equipment. PTS Office Systems has fully customizable office equipment in stock, waiting to be delivered to your business. Get fully customized office equipment to meet your office's specific needs. The day and age of one-size-fits-all office equipment is gone. Shop around at PTS Office Systems today at 2nd and Main in downtown Roswell.
As the school year comes to an end and COVID restrictions start to ease, don't lose sight of the lessons learned. Cover your cough, positive personal hygiene, respect one another, show and tell others you love them. Fiscal and social responsibility are great ways to show your love. This is Damon Graham, your local New York Life agent. I can help you show your love to others. Call me at 575-623-0803. so we can determine how you best can show your love. Expect to be blessed.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is, sorry, I was getting an interview set up there and got to talking and wasn't paying attention. Sorry about that. Hey, stay tuned next hour. We're going to replay our interview with, we had on Friday. We had the ladies from Healthy Kids Chavez County join us, Becky Joyce and Paula Camp. We also had Shelley Montgomery join us from the Dexter Schools. She's in charge of the food service for Dexter Schools. And we talked mostly about the summer food program for Chavez County, after school, or the school program for food and getting kids food and where you can find locations and all that stuff. So we're going to play that interview here next hour, but we talked about that and just healthy kids and food and all that. So we have a great conversation here. So we're going to play that in the about 8:15 or so. Then, and this is the interview I was checking out when you were. There's a gentleman. His name is Guzman. I believe it's Charles Guzman. He is firefighter. He was actually a fire chief, and during 9/11 and everything in New York City, there he was actually not there. But anyway, he's the one who started the Never Forget 9/11 mobile exhibit. Him and his wife, or his daughter, who's an author and everything. But Gene, our boss, interviewed him last week, and so I'm going to play that interview for you in the 9 o'clock hour. But I'll tell you more about that next hour. All right, it's 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Craig Clugston in Washington. China has reported a human case of the H10N3 bird flu, and it's a possible first. The country's National Health Commission says a 41-year-old man is in stable condition after being hospitalized in late April. China says the infection is an accidental cross-species transmission and that the risk of large-scale transmission is low. United Nations weapons inspectors have had no access to data important to monitoring Iran's nuclear program since late February.
The Islamic Republic started restricting international inspections of its facility shortly after President Biden was sworn in. The International Atomic Energy Agency reports in a confidential document distributed to member countries and seen by the Associated Press that it has, quote, not had access to the data from its online enrichment monitors and electronic seals since February 23rd. While the IAEA and Iran earlier acknowledged the restrictions limited access to surveillance cameras at Iranian facilities, the latest report indicates they went much further. Bob Agnew reporting.
Correspondent Rita Foley reports that the U.S. seems to have turned the corner on the coronavirus, but the pandemic has taken a toll.
More than 50% of Americans have gotten at least one COVID shot. The number fully vaccinated, about 40%, according to the Bloomberg COVID tracker. The vaccines help to reduce the number of infections and deaths in this country to the lowest level since the pandemic's early days. But the U.S. has lost more people to COVID than any other nation, more than 594,000 people.
President Biden travels to Oklahoma today to mark the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Black Massacre. It's a new week and a new month, and stocks opened higher this morning. Right now, the Dow is up 156 points in early trading. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I have a traumatizing childhood memory of an Easter egg hunt. The big hunt was a big deal in our family, and I have this memory of running and excitedly reaching for eggs, only to have my big brother and sister sweep in and steal them at the last second. It's Ryan, and unfortunately, this is a traumatizing reality our Faith and Family Mortgage team is seeing from families across the country. Families are finding their dream home, only to have it pulled away by another hunter at the last second. At United Faith Mortgage, we unfortunately cannot scare off the other hunters, but we can very quickly get you pre-approved and make it look as good as possible to sellers. And then, once you do grab that Easter egg,
see our story and read how our direct lender advantage can often save your family monthly and lifelong money at UnitedFaithMortgage.com.
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1335. REC NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Panic swept through a Dallas shopping mall on Memorial Day after a man banged a skateboard on the ground in the food court and then made hand gestures as if he was shooting.
Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia said when the crowd started running, the individual focused on that and began doing hand gestures as if he was shooting into the crowd, which then further escalated the situation. According to Garcia, a call came in at 1:27 p.m. Monday reporting an active shooter at North Park Center. Off-duty officers at the mall confronted the man within 3 minutes, and on-duty officers responded a minute later. The man, who did not have a gun, was taken into custody and transported to an area hospital for medical evaluation. I'm Mike Gracia.
The manhunt continues for 3 masked suspects who killed 2 men and wounded more than 20 outside a Miami banquet hall Sunday. Meanwhile, in Houston, 2 men killed in a nightclub shooting yesterday. News and analysis at townhall.com. Handwritten notes that show one of history's greatest scientific minds in action are going up for auction in London.
Pages containing Isaac Newton's jotted revisions to his masterwork, the Principia, are expected to sell next month for between $850,000 and $1.3 million. That according to auctioneer Christie's. Published in 1687, Newton's mathematical principles of natural philosophy set out the laws of gravitation and motion and is considered a scientific watershed. First edition of the book sold at auction for $3.7 million in 2016. Keith Peters reporting.
A court has upheld Australia's COVID-19 ban on most international travel. Australia is alone among developed democracies in preventing its citizens and permanent residents from leaving the country except in exceptional circumstances. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number.
Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2
the deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody. That's the good part. At least it's not Monday. We already had our Monday.
No, sorry, were we waiting for my response? Yeah, no, you're right.
So it's Tuesday, even though it feels like Monday. It's Tuesday. So
Yeah, I've had that thought 2 separate times today. I was like, oh, yeah, it's not Monday.
Tomorrow's hump day.
Yeah, we're halfway there.
So maybe that'll put a little hitch in you giddy up
Yeah.
today as you're thinking, trying to muddle through your morning here. But we're cleaning up for some. I know with all the rains we got, we got more chances of rain pretty much all week. So we'll get you up to date on that here in just a little bit. But
yeah, Steve, real bearer of good news today.
Good news bear.
More of the same coming. Get ready for all of that.
Well, maybe it'll shift to the north end of town.
Look, I'm not complaining about the moisture.
Give us a break.
Just don't understand why we always have to get it all at once.
That's the joke about New Mexico.
Can we just have some sustained rain? It's such a nice feeling.
I mean, that's as soon as I moved to New Mexico, it's like, I can't believe you only get like 9 inches of rain a year. It's like, yeah, you should be here the day it shows up. And that was this weekend.
That was Saturday.
Yeah. So
most deaf. No, it was cool though, because it all fell, and then the sky opened up just a little bit and gave me some sun, and I was able to let the kids go out and do the old standby that we used to do, go puddle jumping.
Well, you had plenty of puddles to jump.
Yes, they did. It was like a wetland out by my property. But it's nice that in the world of the tablets and your Super Nintendos and your Nintendo 64s and all the toys the kids have these days, it's nice to know that kids will still go outside and jump in puddles.
I always, when I was a little kid, never quite could because the physics don't work.
Right.
But I guess maybe I saw it in a cartoon. I always wanted to turn an umbrella upside down
and sail in it.
And sail in it.
Yeah,
but too fat.
No, wouldn't work. I likewise always wanted to use an umbrella as some sort of parachuting device.
Yeah.
Yeah. Equally disappointed.
Yeah, it does not work.
Yeah, my broken femur told me that one.
Even if you use a golf umbrella, they're way big. Still don't have it.
Yeah. Parasol. No good.
Yeah, parasol.
It's in the name. You would think parasol, parachute.
Yeah. They make it out of two wimpy materials. It just doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
But happy not Monday, Tuesday to everybody, and hope all of you are having a good day. We'll get you up to date with that weather here in just a few. And I did get to see some TV, good catch-ups on TV. Although I'm still a couple things I haven't caught up on, but I did get a couple things. So maybe we'll talk some about that during the show at some point too. Some TV. Oh, my wife was I think enjoyed our little toy we had fun with on Friday. Yeah, and she wants to show her kids in class.
That's awesome.
And was showing.
She wants to be part of a TikTok trend, which if we have some time, we still have a couple of those to sample.
Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do it next hour.
There you go.
We'll do it next hour. We got our Tunnels to Tower interview. That's gonna be so we got a little time next hour.
People out there are like, what in God's name are they talking about?
Apple juice.
Yep.
We're gonna try apple juice, but the bottle.
We'll put it this way. We'll call it TikTok apple juice.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because it's the reason we got this apple juice is based off of a TikTok that I saw randomly just a couple months ago. And I was intrigued, so I had to know if it worked for real. And I realized, oh yeah, I know Thomas. Thomas can procure anything because Thomas is Thomas.
Yeah.
So I kindly asked for him to procure these bottles, and sure enough, he was able to.
Yeah, they're definitely a novelty act.
The juice itself, fantastic. It's Martinelli apple juice, which I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
So they're the same ones that do like the sparkling ciders around New Year's.
Okay, so they're a pretty big brand.
Yeah,
Martinelli.
They're known.
Okay.
But the bottles themselves are small cylindrical bottles or spherical bottles, and they're shaped out to be like an apple.
Mm-hmm.
The bit is when you bite into this bottle, not bite into it as in you're opening it, but you bite the plastic of this bottle.
Yeah.
It makes the sound like you're biting into an actual apple.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky when if you're watching it. We'll demonstrate. So hopefully you're in front of our video camera. And so
it's real ASMR freaky deaky.
On the radio, it's not going to have the same ooh factor.
Although I argue it would, because we're this close to the microphone. We're going to get a little.
Oh, it's going to sound good.
We're going to get some real ASMR sound.
But it's just good. But someone listening be like, it sounds like you're just biting into an apple. It doesn't. But people watching like, that's a bottle he's biting into.
I'm really excited to start using use this for a sound effect.
Yeah.
At some point, I want to be able to do my own Foley. Looking forward to that.
His own Axel Foley.
And trust me, yeah, exactly. As someone who has been so self-conscious of the weird sounds my mouth has been making for the last 3 months, I'm all for any other weird ASMR things. So.
Distract.
It just squeaks and pops that just come out of nowhere. It's like, I didn't even know I could make that right there. I didn't even know I could make that sound.
Well, you're gonna hear the apple and be like, I hear Yanny. Just kidding.
By the way, can we call out the National Weather Service for being Apple centric, for still not accepting Androids? Like right there in the middle of their tornado warning yesterday that came over the EAS, they said stay away from Windows. I thought it was offensive. As an Android user myself, they said stay away from Windows. I know you picked a side, EAS, but it doesn't feel right that you picked a side. You feel like you should stay in the middle.
That's right. They're anti-Bill Gates. Stay away from Windows.
Get back to, I was going to say pitch a ball, but just, go back to doing the weather.
Don't get near the cans. It is 12 minutes after. It's 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. All right, let's get the good news bear to tell you more about the weather. Here it is.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things could get a little bit bumpy again today with some showers and thunderstorms over our area this afternoon. Some of those storms could have large hail and damaging wind. Our afternoon high today around 80. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, partly cloudy overnight and down to the low 60s. For tomorrow, we'll start off fair, but we could pick up more afternoon storms and our high in the mid 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 64 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 84%. Winds currently out of the south at 6 miles per hour. We do have a 30% chance at some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. They say some of these storms could be severe. Let's see. Cloudy this morning, then gradually clearing and becoming mostly sunny. Highs near 80 today, 78 officially is what they're saying, with north winds 5 to 10. We're looking at a 40% chance at showers and thunderstorms tonight. Again, some of these storms could be severe, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 56, south winds 5 to 10. 20% chance of rain for you Wednesday, mostly sunny. Expect a high of 82 tomorrow with north winds 5 to 10. Wednesday night, we're looking at a 30% chance of rain, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 59, south winds 5 to 10. Thursday, a 40% chance of rain, mostly sunny, high of 85. Friday, we're looking at a 40% chance of rain, partly cloudy, 85. And then your weekend, Saturday, a 20% chance of showers, mostly sunny, highs right around 90. A 20% chance of rain Sunday, partly cloudy, high of 94. So we're looking at more rain chances pretty much all week long once again. Hey, Zia Guns USA here in Roswell. They've got you covered. Ammo in stock. They've got 22 ammo in stock. They've got 50 count boxes of 9mm ammo in stock. Also, they're buying guns. If you're trying to sell guns, either a gun, entire gun collection, or a state, maybe you're trying to trade in and trade up to a better model, you can do all of those things at Zia Guns USA here in Roswell. They've got cash on hand in the store making offers. You walk out the door with that cold, hard cash. Also, if you're looking for some coffee, Black Rifle coffee, they got it. Zia Guns USA here in Roswell. While they're stocking up, go ahead and get you some of that Black Rifle coffee. And fellas, you may have seen it online, the Dr. Squatch soap accessories and soap line for men. Well, Dr. Squatch, you will find it in one place in Roswell and one place only, Zia Guns USA here in Roswell. They're your only full-fledged Dr. Squatch soap dealer in Roswell. Also, come on by, check it out. Accessories, whatever, Athlon spotting scopes, they now carry those. They are the largest Vortex optics dealer in the state as well. Zia Guns, swing on by. They're open every day but Saturdays because they spend Saturdays with family, and you should too. Come on by 1907 North Main Street right here in Roswell, or call them 575-622-0023. Again, that's 575-622-0023. All right, it is 8:16. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, our interview we had on Friday with the ladies from Healthy Kids Chavez County and Shelley Montgomery from the Dexter Schools food service director there, talking about the summer food program and all kinds of stuff for the kids. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests, and they offer answers and solutions when you need them most. Protect your home, your children, and your pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Let Bob Reed Pest Control and their fully licensed professionals start working for you and your family today. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeastern New Mexico. Find them fast in names and numbers.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our Cookie Two-Step Ice Cream is a creamy vanilla ice cream with hints of brown sugar, chunks of chocolate cream-filled cookies, and tasty chocolate chip cookie dough pieces. Cookie Two-Step has everybody's taste buds two-stepping, and 1 and 2.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at Smokey's Country Market in Capitan and all Farmers Country Markets.
If you own a restaurant or bar in New Mexico, you should be aware of a tax break available to you this spring. To help businesses recover from the stress of the past year, New Mexico is allowing restaurants, bars, brew pubs, wineries, and craft distillers to deduct their sales from gross receipts taxes for a limited time. The deduction can be taken for sales of prepared food and beverages in March, April, May, and June. Fast food restaurants and packaged liquor sales are not eligible. Sponsored by the state of New Mexico.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning from Healthy Kids Chavez County, Becky Joyce and Paula Camp are back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
And in unison, they do it every time. It's great. And also joining us, head of food services for the Dexter Schools, Shelley Montgomery, back with us as well. Good morning. Is that close enough title for I don't know if that's the official title, but close enough for government. Actually, can I put you on this mic instead? This one seems to want. Yeah, just move it around there. I'm listening to you, and it wants to be ornery, so that way I can hear you.
All right, any better?
Oh, way better. Yeah, now we can hear you. That one's being a little finicky this morning.
No, maybe she could sing.
Ooh,
yeah.
It is singing quality now. So it's belt out of tune.
Whatever.
For those that aren't familiar, Healthy Kids Chavez County, it's a subsect, I guess you could say, of the New Mexico Department of Health. Mm-hmm. And basically, they're the ones that kind of work with the schools, work with our different youth organizations in town and find ways to get them access to healthy foods and education and information and activities and all kind of stuff. During the COVID world, you guys were kind of ambassadors for everybody, saying, hey, get food here. Of course, Shelley and everybody, Dexter, were getting food out to kids in Dexter
right.
in that area. And you kind of were as, hey, you want food? Go here. You want food? Go here. You need help? Go. You kind of were that resource for everybody and still
right.
do that. Still do all
yes,
that. But
we do.
But now you guys could actually do some of your programs and some of the things that you guys do when there's not COVID and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And we were even able to do the 5210 in several schools and Eat Smart to Play Hard in several schools. So it wasn't the same, but the children did get the information So we're hoping that we reached a few
Sure.
and encouraged good eating and physical activity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of, and good news is now that the world's starting to open up a little bit more here, there's more opportunities, more things.
Right.
I know this is kind of Becky's world here, but the cities, opening up facilities and things
We've
again.
got the outdoor pool opening.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
And
are
by the
excited,
way, the pool will be open on Memorial Day. But nothing else will be.
Right, the
so if
rec
you want-
center's going to be closed,
Yeah.
but the pool.
But you can
will
go
be.
swimming, and you can go to the zoo, and they'll have stuff
Right.
going on. So there are places to get physical on Monday. Hopefully, the weather will cooperate for us.
Yeah.
We'll
Right.
knock in there.
Right, just in case.
Yeah, but the big thing we do want to promote here is kids are getting out of school here. If they're not out already, they will be here in the next week or so.
Right.
And so now we're kind of shifting to our summertime, summer meals, summer things like that, which I guess, Shelley, everything's back in full force this year.
Yes.
I mean, you guys were doing it last year, but it was a little trickier on how to do it. This year, you can do it more a little bit more in the traditional sense, I guess you could say.
Well, exactly. And I appreciate you letting me come on this show to
Anytime,
talk
yeah.
about it, because we need to get it out, the word, where people can pick up the food for their students or
Yeah.
their kids, anybody, free, 18 and under.
And this is Chaves County. There's locations throughout Chaves County that are doing this. It's not just Roswell. She's running Dexter. She's here telling us.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just for all of Chaves County. So folks listening in Lake Arthur, Dexter, Hagerman, this applies to you too. So
Yes, and it doesn't matter where you're at. So if you're a student that's in Dexter and you happen to be in Roswell on a particular day, grab a lunch there.
Okay, so
or vice versa. So
wherever
it doesn't
you're at,
matter.
that's where the food will be for you.
Right.
So
Yes.
perfect. Okay.
Yes, because
Excellent.
it just goes by numbers, not by kid.
Excellent. So wherever you're at in that particular day, come on, just like, that's not
Right.
my normal one. No problem.
Well, exactly. And we have a few sites in Dexter I'd like to mention, because at the high school, they're at 100 North Lincoln.
Okay.
We do a grab and go, and it's a breakfast and a lunch together.
Okay, so you get both meals at one trip there.
Yes, so that
Okay.
way they're not wasting gas, running back and forth. And it's from 10 to 11 every morning.
Nice. So if you want to get both, now the discipline's on you. Don't eat your breakfast and lunch at the same time. You're going to get hungry later. That's just
But
how
if
it
you
works.
do, come back tomorrow. We'll give you another one. Then, in Midway, at the Assembly of God Church there in Midway at 63 Yakima Road,
Okay.
they do at 11 to 12. And it's a combo also. These ones are all combos
Okay.
so that we can make sure and everybody get the breakfast. That's
Sure.
kind of new that we started last year
Excellent.
with the pandemic.
So even if you come out
with
during the lunch hours, you can still get your breakfast too, and
Yes.
that way you can have it tomorrow or
Right.
make it an afternoon dinner or
a
whatever.
snack.
Yeah,
even.
a snack. Whatever.
But yeah, that's kind of been the idea is we give you the breakfast and the lunch, and it's lunch for today, breakfast for in the morning.
Excellent.
And
Point
so-
is, there's food available. If your children needs food, there's places to get it,
Right.
and,
Yes.
and let's get that food.
And then also at the Midway Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay.
At 6477 Templeton Road, and it's from 12 to 1.
All right, excellent, very good. So please, and I'm guessing, is there like a website that kind of reiterates all this if people want to go back and remember times
We
and
can
dates?
put it on our Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, it is
We'll
on the,
advertise
on the Healthy
Dexter
Kids, the
Facebook,
Dexter School and the Healthy
also
Kids.
the
Chavis
Healthy
Kids.
Kids. That would be wonderful.
So-
and I'll leave this paper with you.
Excellent, too. Very good. That way, if you're trying to remember, or if you like you said, you can go to any place in the county where these are happening and visit any one of those, regardless of where you live in the county.
Right.
Right.
They're available to you. So if you know you're going to be, we're going to spend the day in Hagerman or Dexter or here in Roswell, where are the locations we can go and get our children
Right.
some food?
Now,
Paula's going to mention Roswell.
Yeah, Roswell is going to have grab and go at Roswell High, Goddard, or Burindo Elementary.
Okay.
From 8 a.m. until noon.
So they kind of got north, south, and in the middle covered there a little
Right.
bit.
And they just don't have, they'd have more sites, but they don't have enough workers.
Gotcha. So if
they're
you want more
just doing
sites,
yes.
they're hiring within the Roswell Independent School District. They'd like to
Now, their
get a job today.
I think Shelley is right away, correct? When does yours start?
We started the 24th, so
Okay.
we're already
You're
up
underway
and going.
already. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Roswell is going to go June 10th through July 23rd.
Okay, so we're about a week and a half away on
Right.
that one.
So
okay.
that's at Roswell High, Goddard, Burindo, 8 to 12.
Okay.
Then in Hagerman, they are only going to be open for 2 weeks in July.
Okay.
The 1st to the 15th, Monday
Okay.
through Friday.
So the first half of July, they'll be available
Right,
for
they'll
folks.
be open.
Okay.
And then Lake Arthur, last year they didn't have a summer program again, limited workers, that
Sure.
kind of thing. But they're looking into a new thing called Meals to you.
Okay.
And Shelley is going to tell you a little bit about what that program is.
Okay.
Yes, Meals to You. I was on a Zoom the other day, and it's a great program, and the schools have to qualify to participate in this program. And from what I can understand, it's school districts that are a certain amount of miles from a decent grocery store.
Okay.
And then basically, the schools don't have a lot to do with it except that they hand out the information to the parents.
They're kind of the conduit to get the info to the world about this program. Got you. Okay.
And make sure the school has to qualify and then the family has to qualify.
Okay. But I'm guessing Lake Arthur's grocery stores are far enough away where they qualify for this program.
Right.
Makes sense. Because I'm guessing they probably got to go to Artesia to get a grocery store near them, don't they?
I would think.
I'm thinking that's probably the closest they
that
have
would
to
be
go.
in
They don't even have a
Hagerman.
convenience.
Yeah.
Right. Hagerman has a convenience store they could go to, but
it's not a full group. They got to come here.
They would have to go to Artesia.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is after everybody gets picked and the families are chosen which ones are after you qualify, the meals are sent directly to the home, and it's through. I don't know if it's UPS or one of those kind of things. It's not through the school.
Like
Hello Fresh.
Yeah, Freshly or one of those ones that show up on the thing.
And it's 5 breakfasts, 5 meals.
And it's got all the thing, and they just kind of put it in and heat it up or whatever they got to do to consume it. Awesome.
So they're looking into that. They haven't definitely decided that's what they're doing, because at the same time, like we mentioned before, Lake Arthur can go to Hagerman in July, or they can come to Dexter, or they could come to Roswell.
Okay.
That's just a trip for them.
I just moved to Lake Arthur just to have people deliver me food, and I'd have to leave. That's just me. I'm a little weird.
So we're hoping to have big numbers and feed lots of kids this summer.
Yeah, please, if parents, if you need help with this kind of stuff, please don't hesitate to utilize these resources. That is why they are there.
Exactly.
They're completely free to you, and we want to make sure that every child in Chaves County has access to a meal. That's what it's all about here. And unfortunately, we know the summer months, kids, because they're not in school, they're not getting the 3 meals a day. Because
it's possible. Yeah.
Some kids, they don't get to eat regular unless it's a school day, because at home they don't have the resources or whatever the reasons being. Maybe somebody's not there to feed, to cook food. It's just there's all kinds of reasons. But the point is, we want to make it available to as many people as possible here in Chaves County.
Do.
So please utilize these sources. And folks, if you're listening and saying, you know what, I'd like to help. Like you were talking about, they'd love to do more of these, but there's not enough employees and things. If you're looking for work, I'm sure RISD, probably Dexter, you're good. Dexter's good. But Lake Arthur, I'm sure they probably need staffing and things like that. I mean,
check that out.
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm. Usually those jobs come with benefits and all kind of stuff. So
yes, exactly.
Good idea.
Yes, so it'd be good for everybody.
Hey, do y'all get like to take the extras home? Is that like a rule? No, dang. I was like, we cooked too many tater tots. I'll take them home. Like in the you work at restaurants or nothing.
No, that's my job. I don't let you cook too much.
Bummer. It's like accidentally make some of them pizzas and make them better.
Okay, we know what job Mike's applying for.
I'm very food-centric. Excuse me. I got 3 beverages over here, you guys know.
And the McDonald's sign.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. But we want to this summer, and like you said, it's already going in Dexter. June 10th will be the start date for here in Roswell in this area. But
through July 23rd.
And I imagine, too, if you call the school, your respective school districts, any one of them can share this information.
Absolutely.
We'll be happy to.
Yes. And we'll be posting on Facebook about all of these places.
We want to get the word out. And if you like and follow Healthy Kids Chaves County, if you have children and you live in Chaves County, you should probably like and follow because it's just full of great resources, not only for food and things, but activities, just events. If you're looking for, things to do with your kids on the weekends, there's resources.
With all this good food that they're going to be eating, you need some activities.
That's right, too.
So
healthy foods and lots of it means you need to.
On our Facebook page, I've posted all sorts of good camps. There's our city rec department has a whole spray of different kinds of camps.
Yeah.
Art camps and, different activity camps, and then Boys and Girls Club, Christ Church.
Yes.
The vacation Bible schools and all that will be starting up here pretty soon.
Christ Church has a sports camp for a week.
Good.
And my grandchild child has gone, and it was fabulous.
Right.
So there's lots of
all sorts
activities
different
out
ones that
there.
we've been posting. Every time I find one, I've been posting it on our Facebook page. So check that out, or have someone that, if you don't have Facebook, your friend or your
like
most likely your
the
kids.
outdoor pool will be open this summer.
Right.
Yes.
But again, if you're looking for jobs, they're looking for workers over there, especially college age kids for lifeguard stuff.
Right.
Because right now the staffing is such an issue where we're going to open the outdoor pool, but because we don't have enough lifeguards, we got to close the indoor pool while the outdoor pool is, because they need like 14 people on duty at one time to monitor the pool. They only have like 16. So, I mean, they need everybody to do that. So apply, and then once they get the numbers there, then the indoor and outdoor pools can be open at the same time and stuff. But that's the reason why it's not that way right now.
Right.
So, but just to let you know, the outdoor pool will be open this summer here in weeks here as we're getting close to June.
And they have changed the hours for the indoor lap swimming. It was a little bit later. Now it's starting at 6 a.m. So people who work can go by there and swim before they go to work, and so that's good.
an asset.
So anyway,
I know this is not related, but I just kind of see if you caught it, Becky. Did you see when they were doing the trials, the not Olympic?
Oh yeah,
it's
the pentathlon.
Pentathlon. Thank you. They were doing all the stuff because I know they had the aquatic center closed. I think Friday for a little bit, and then all that. But the part that kind of got me was all the other stuff because thanks to the NIMI guys and all they were doing and putting it on our streaming thing. So I'm coming on and getting on my Facebook. And I'm like, oh, we started a new video because I don't do all the video stuff. And I looked and like, oh, and they got fencing going on. I'm like, I've never watched fencing like this before. This is really cool. So it was cool to see all that fun stuff in the area that time. And
Jan Olinsky works at NIMI.
Okay.
He was a pentathlete.
Okay.
And so he and Perry Tolles both are really instrumental in getting that to Roswell.
Yeah.
And so fencing, horseback riding, shooting, swimming, running.
Kind of neat to see all that.
Yeah, it's really neat.
You know, those are those sports that they're fun to watch because you don't see them very often. You know?
Exactly.
And, you don't get to see them in person very often either. So it's pretty cool.
Another thing that, the Boys and Girls Club recently had their ribbon cutting. And they have renovated their building, and so they're up and running.
Good.
So that's another place that kids can go for activities, and they do educational things, and it's a great spot to be. Christy Patton is in charge over there, so you can call Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, they've been really busy this last year. Even before the pandemic, they were really ramping up and gearing up, and then the pandemic hit.
Oh, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
Their renovations.
Yeah, they've been
Becky
really...
and I went. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, it's long overdue, and it's glad they finally got to get some of that stuff done. And but now that we're starting to come out of this COVID a little bit, now people can come to see it, utilize it, and be a part of it. But yeah, they'll be. Oh, and I'm sure we'll get the Boys and Girls Club folks back on here and get them an update
I'm sure.
and talk about that.
And
too.
we're trying to do some programs over there with them.
Yeah,
this summer, some educational things.
Yeah, absolutely. But we want to. Opportunities are there. If you're looking for physical things to get your child involved with during the summer, food and all that, there is lots of opportunities. Much of it free or little cost. With these food programs, all of that's free of charge. And I think with someone sign up for some of these city camps and things, it's very minimal costs on some of these.
The zoo also has.
Yeah, they got a great zoo camp. If you have kids that love animals and love, it's kind of like the behind the scenes at the zoo camp. For their camp, they get to go and be a part of the feeding times and taking care of all the stuff that it takes to run a zoo that we don't see when we walk around.
Thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is.
That's
kids are interested in that.
Yeah, they've got big plans for stuff at the zoo. There's going to be more. Be on the lookout here over the next couple of years. There's going to be more and more things coming and act. Yeah, people are like, well, it's charging and all that. It's like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's nice to have everything free too, but because of this and what they're doing, it's making the community get invested, which means we can invest and make it a better place and give it.
Right, they'll have a better experience.
Yeah. So folks from, say Dexter or Hagerman are like, hey, what do you want to do this weekend? Let's go to Roswell and come to the zoo. That's kind of how it works. And we're trying to get your money too. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll bring it.
We'll take it. But there's lots to get involved with, lots to come. I don't. Have you heard, Becky? Are they going to try to get the splash pads open, or is that still on hiatus?
That's still on hold.
Okay, I haven't heard one way or another.
I think eventually, And then the one at Carpenter Park is almost done.
Okay.
I think there was something just left that they were going to do on that one, but
okay.
I think they have to kind of get the go ahead from Santa.
I'm about to say, right. I know where you're going. I was about to say something. No, that's not the radio friendly version. I know what you're talking about. Thank you.
But that's where the rules come from.
Right. So if it does, we'll have two. One in Carpenter Park and one at
sometime soon, hopefully.
Boys and Girls Club.
Behind the Boys and Girls Club.
I can't remember.
I keep saying Chihuahuita because that's everyone else calls it. You know,
yes, it's over on East Second.
Yeah, it's right up the street up here. I just can't remember that area.
Garden.
Yeah, it's literally go up Second East and you'll see it right there on your right as you're going. I can't remember the park that it just escaped my head. Pokecorn Park. Yeah. That's it.
Okay,
that's it.
Good job,
but
Beck.
Most people just know it as Chihuahuita, and that's why everyone calls it. So
that's true.
And another thing, we just recently had a meeting at Parks and Rec Commission. We've got the state allotted some money for a new park where the old Chisholm School was.
Okay.
Not positive of the streets on that, but it's in between Southeast Main and South Main.
Okay.
It's kind of in a little triangle there where the old Chisholm Park school was, and they had torn the school down years ago, but the Barry Foster was instrumental in getting this funding through the state, and they're going to build a park there.
Oh, good.
And it's really needed because there's no parks in that area for those kids without them passing, going over main highways.
Sure, getting to a place.
Right.
And that's the idea is you'd like to get a park like this in as many neighborhoods as possible so kids can bike or walk over themselves and have fun at the playground.
So it'll have water, sprinkler systems, benches, a place for basketball, playground equipment, backstops.
Cool.
So it's a pretty good area, and so it's going to be nice and parking for people to park there and
good deal.
And so it'll be it's a little ways down the road. But
sure,
it's
coming.
Look
it's
for it on
works.
the radar here.
Right.
Well, we also live in a world where everything's super expensive to build right now, so people aren't too anxious to build stuff at the moment.
Can't use wood.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what playground equipment, the materials right now, what that cost. Yeah. Well, I hear things like I heard there was no silicone available. That's why all these computers, like a bunch of new cars sitting in factories waiting for these chips because there's no silicone to stick in the chips.
Isn't that amazing?
And so that's the kind of stuff we're doing. So imagine the playground world, they're dealing with the exact same type. There's one ingredient that's you just don't think much about. And it's like, we can't get it because there's no factory making it right now.
Well, and you know what's funny? I was at, Family Dollar there in Dexter the other day, and they had some toilet paper. Buy one, get one free. I was like,
so there's no shortage of that.
None.
Somebody's bragging. Huh? Somebody's flexing.
And speaking of that shortage, last time we were here, we were talking about adding gardens to Nancy Lopez.
Yeah.
And we went to buy the wood for the bed, and a 2x6x12, I think, was $57 and change.
So needless to say, that
through
didn't
the
happen.
through the radio, my friend Amy Green contacted me, and she had wood that she was taking apart a rabbit hut.
All right.
And donated the wood.
Even better.
And Skylar Pierce at Roswell High School got his kids, his ag kids, and they built 2 beds.
I love it.
So they managed to make it happen.
And that's a better one because now we took wood and gave it a new life and a new purpose and everything else.
We recycle.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. And those gardens are going great, by the way.
That's great.
Yes.
I mean, that's almost the way it should be because that's a garden in and of itself. It's the cycle of life there in a box.
It is. Yes. Right. So it's great that we can be on here and people can hear our plight.
And you know what?
And donate.
And this is great because the community gardens, it's like, I know Artesia started a big thing. They've got over at the library. If you haven't been over the library, they've got their own little thing and they're growing peppers and doing all this stuff and they're teaching kids with STEM
and Lake
all
Arthur
that too.
is in the process of having a community garden.
Lake Arthur. I think Artesia's got theirs going.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
so we don't work in Artesia, but,
I know, but
Lake Arthur has a big one going.
Yeah, I think it's the concept spreading, and I'd love to. I that would be kind of cool if like a garden at a school is as common as a computer.
It would.
You know what I mean? I think it should be.
There's so much to learn from it, and to eat the fresh fruit, and then it's sustaining. for people. If they want food, they can get some seeds and grow some.
And I'm sure the science department, the math department,
everybody gets involved.
And, home economics, certainly. There's a lot of departments that could utilize that garden.
Right. And there's one also between Gateway Church and Christ Church. They have a community garden out there, too, that they do every year. I just saw an advertisement for people that wanted to work on that.
And if we put enough of these up, then you won't have to correct your kids when they say, where does corn come from? And they say the grocery store.
Right. A can. Right.
They'll know, and they'll probably tell you. Mom, did you know it came from the ground? Learned that the other day.
Yes, exactly. And we also, our schools were doing some activities.
Right. End of the school year, it's been kind of a strange year as far as that goes, but I visited Valley View and Nancy Lopez, and they both had kind of field days, but they're done in a different way. And it was just the kids, no parents allowed, but something fun they did at Valley View, they had their student council officers run each activity.
And
it was so cute. They stood up there and they told those kids where to line up and what. And so then they did a kind of a rotation. So they weren't all packed together. They were spread out. And they did their activities and it was a really cute way. And then also at Nancy Lopez, Ashley Booth, their PE teacher, did some fun water activities, class by class.
Nice.
So they have had to adapt, and I'm sure there was probably some other schools I just didn't didn't hear about. But it's the end of the school year, and everybody's ready to get out, but they at least got to have a little fun day.
Little camaraderie, a little bit of some of the stuff that kind of is missed this last year because of the way we have to handle things right now. But that's good to see, and hopefully we'll ride this momentum through the summer and into the fall. Maybe when kids start going back to school in the fall here, it'll look more like a regular school year that we're used to coming to.
We're really looking forward to that. We'll have New Mexico Grown. That we'll do lots of things with all the schools, especially Dexter and Roswell. And it's exciting to think that we can get back to something semi-normal.
And to be honest, I know we're complaining and it's been a rough year and all that, but at the end of the day, I think this is going to make us all better. You know what I mean? I think
agree with that.
After we get really through this in a couple years, I think we're going to be better because of this. I think because it's going to make us think about how we do. We've been doing it for last year. How do we do things, and how do we do it all that? And I think
to appreciate the things that we have.
But I think some things are going to come streamlined out of this, and we figured out better ways to do stuff that's better than the way it was before, and we're going to incorporate that with what's really the good, tried and true way. And I think all of this, after it's all said and done, is going to be an awesome experience. I mean, I know it stinks right now, but looking back and all this, I think we're going to have a lot of good lessons from this, and we're going to have a lot of good that comes from this as well.
Right. Agreed.
But in the meantime, you guys, let's all do our part here and get your kids involved. And of course, if you need assistance, reach out, come out to any of these summer food pickup locations throughout the entire county. We'll have it here. We'll post it up on, you can see it on the Dexter Schools Facebook page right now. It'll be up on the Healthy Kids Chavez County here very shortly, and we'll get it shared and everything else. But please, if you have questions, go to those resources. Use I know if you try calling schools here in a bit, you're going to get a lot of long ring-ins and nobody answering phones because it's the summer. But online, there's going to be a lot of resources. And to be honest, probably during the summer, shooting messages on Facebook and stuff is probably the fastest way to get responses.
Right, and they can call the central offices.
Yeah.
They'll have somebody there.
Yeah, absolutely.
To direct you.
Yeah, they'll have somebody too. But please, let's utilize it. Let's get and then take advantage of all the free stuff. The city's got all kinds of stuff. Each, the county, each district's got things going on.
Right, and I think our Van was looking for lifeguards.
Okay.
For their pool there.
All right.
So I think they're opening up there.
That'd be good.
Well, that's good news here too. So they can get to do some swimming there and outside the lake, I guess.
Right. Yes. I mean, you have both there, but they do have a pool there that they were.
Right.
I know, but some people I'll never. I know there are people that will never go in a lake or a pond or nothing.
True. Because things swim by you and touch you underwater.
I can understand a pond that's got stuff all over it, Like if there's lily pads and all that, and there's a pond, I'm like, I'm not getting there either. But a lake, oh yeah, I'm in and out. I mean, I was in the Scouts, and every summer we're out there in the lake swimming around. And
bottomless lake.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
bottomless lake.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Tragedy in southeast New Mexico, as authorities say a woman drowned after she got caught in a flash flood in Hondo Sunday night. Police responded to the call for help along Alamo Canyon Road. When they arrived, they found the vehicle had been swept away due to flash flooding. The driver not in the car. The body of Heather Garrett was found as many as 6 miles downstream from where her car got caught in the floodwaters. More New Mexico schools are committing to offering full-time in-person learning in the fall, with some virtual learning options. Schools confirming their commitment to widespread in-person learning over the last several weeks include districts that were the most hesitant to reopen, including Albuquerque and Santa Fe. That signals that parents across the state can expect to send their kids through the school doors in the fall. That's a look at local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things could get a little bit bumpy again today with some showers and thunderstorms over our area this afternoon. Some of those storms could have large hail and damaging wind. Our afternoon high today around 80. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, partly cloudy overnight and down to the low 60s. For tomorrow, we'll start off fair, but we could pick up more afternoon storms and our high in the mid 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. Johnson & Johnson is asking for Supreme Court review of a $2 billion verdict in favor of women who claim they developed ovarian cancer from using the company's talc products. Johnson & Johnson argues that the company didn't get a fair shake in a trial in state court in Missouri that resulted in an initial $4.7 billion verdict in favor of 22 women who used the products and developed ovarian cancer. The global economic rebound from the pandemic has picked up speed, but remains uneven across countries and faces multiple headwinds. Most worrisome, the lack of vaccines in poorer nations, which could lead to new virus variants and more stop-and-go lockdowns. Those were the key points from the latest economic outlook published Monday by the Paris-based Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Customizable office equipment is one stop away at PTS Office Systems. Of course, you and the business next door do different things, so you need different office equipment. PTS Office Systems has fully customizable office equipment in stock, waiting to be delivered to your business. Get fully customized office equipment to meet your office's specific needs. The day and age of one-size-fits-all office equipment is gone. Shop around at PTS Office Systems today at 2nd and Main in downtown Roswell.
Well, the geraniums were a little slow at getting started this year, but now they're ready to go. Hi, this is Jim Gill with a lesson in delayed gratification. At Roswell Seed Company, we grow our own geraniums, and that old polar vortex sure slowed them down. But now they may be the sturdiest, most colorful geraniums you've ever put in the ground, so come get yours today. Kind of like your neighbor's son who's still living in the basement. Late bloomers can be the brightest of them all. Or maybe not. Have you seen that kid?
As the school year comes to an end and COVID restrictions start to ease, don't lose sight of the lessons learned. Cover your cough, positive personal hygiene, respect one another, show and tell others you love them. Fiscal and social responsibility are great ways to show your love. This is Damon Graham, your local New York Life agent. I can help you show your love to others. Call me at 575-623-0803 so we can determine how you best can show your love. Expect to be blessed.
This is a nasty little termite. It loves nothing better than to eat your house, your subfloors, your walls, around your windows, and then they swarm around taunting you.
We're eating your house. We're eating your house.
You'd like to kill them, wouldn't you? But you don't want trenches dug around your home, and you don't want holes in your foundation. That's where Dow AgroSciences and the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System come to the rescue. The same system that protects the White House can help protect your house. An authorized operator strategically places Centricon stations around your house and then carefully monitors them for termites. If they're found, a professional inserts bait tube devices. The termites take the bait and they die.
I feel like I'm dying.
Kind of like that, only a lot more effective. In fact, Centricon is proven to eliminate the termite colony. Termites are gone with Centricon. No more colony, no more problem. Visit Centricon.com.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today in Roswell, 623-5344, or anywhere in southeast New Mexico at 877-623-5344.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than just serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable. Serving part-time lets you attend school full-time while you take advantage of education benefits that can help you graduate debt-free. If a civilian career is your goal, serving part-time allows you to work at a full-time job. The skills, qualities, and contacts you'll develop in the Guard can open doors to a great civilian career. Want to serve but worried about being away from friends and family? Part-time service in the Army National Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want while you enjoy the many benefits of serving your community and nation. You owe it to yourself to learn more about how the Army National Guard can fit into your life. Visit NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 53 minutes after 8 o'clock. Next hour, stay tuned. We're going to play an interview that Gene Dow, our fearless leader, had last week. He does our morning show on our sister station, 990 AM in Artesia, and 93.7 FM on the FM translator for those in the Artesia area that wants to catch it on the FM. But he interviewed a man named Charles Gussman, and he's a fire chief, New York City. He was a New York City fire chief during 9/11, and he's kind of the curator of the 9/11 Never Forget Mobile Exhibit Museum. It's through Tunnels to Towers Foundation, a charitable organization that raises money for the firefighters and all the first responders and everyone that are dealing with health issues and everything from today from 9/11. But this gentleman and his daughter, who's an author, they're the kind of the ones behind this the Tunnel to Towers mobile exhibit. But it's going to be in New Mexico, first time ever, June 11th through June 14th. And it's going to start here with a full escort from Roswell to Artesia on the 10th. On the 10th, it'll be available to first responders and everything to go see it. And then June 11th through the 14th, it's open to the general public and things like that. But anyway, Gene interviewed Charles Gussman. He was one of the fire chiefs at the time. He was actually on vacation in Bermudas or Bahamas or something when it all went down, and so he was overseas or out of the country when it happened and trying to get back in. So had a great interview with him telling the story. So we're going to play that interview next hour. It's about 20 minutes. We also have an interview with his daughter, who is an author, has written a book about the whole thing, and is part of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation as well. So we'll play that interview maybe later on. Maybe as we get close to the event or later on this week or something like that. But we're going to play that for you next hour with the fire chief, and Mr. Chief Gussman. But it's going to be a cool deal. Looking forward to seeing it June 11th through the 14th. And I know our local chamber is partnered with the Artesia Chamber on this event to help get the word out and all that about it. So definitely a really cool deal. But Roswell Chamber, Artesia Chamber has more information. We'll talk more about it over the next couple of weeks as we get closer to the event as well, too. But put it on the calendars for June 11th through the 14th, and we'll play that interview next hour with Charles Gussman talking about the Tunnel to Tower and talking about the mobile exhibit and all that stuff. A couple other things coming up pretty quickly here. I want to get on your radar as well. Camp Invention, we're a week away, June 7th. A week from, I guess, yesterday, right? Yeah, less than a week away. It will be happening June 7th through 11th. It's for students in kindergarten through 6th grade. It's going to be 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Each day out at First Baptist Church here in Roswell. And if you're not familiar with Camp Invention, these kids work on these STEM projects and fun things. They're going to have 4 featured items that they're going to get to take home and keep and everything else. A solar bot. It's a Cricket, runs on solar power. A full-out microphone. They can do karaoke and stuff. Road rally car and a duck launcher. And these cool little gadgets, they learn the principles behind them. And it's really a fun week, and it's amazing what they do. But log on to invent.org and sign up. If you need a partial discount, scholarship, they are available, but you need to call Peggy Boland direct to do that. 575-420-9955. Again, that's 575-420-9955. And then learn more, invent.org, and then there's a tab that says find a camp near you. Hit that, and then enter Roswell or 88201. You'll see everything you need. You can sign up there. You can watch the video. It talks all about the camp, all that stuff. So it's right there, invent.org. But camp's coming up June 7th through the 11th. It's next week. Get on the stick. Roswell Invaders, yeah, they're going to be playing some ball here this month and as they start their season, but they're going to be playing games at Joe Bauman Stadium here this year. They're going to have home games and all that cool stuff for the next 3 months, but they also got great stuff. They got new to this year is their Read with the Invaders. And they're going to have 4 different events, 2 in June, 2 in July, where folks can bring a book to read to an invader or have an invader read to them. They're going to have a wiffle ball game and a hot dog lunch afterwards. It's a $20 admission. The first one will be Thursday, June 10th. Then they'll do another one on Wednesday, June 16th. Then in July on Friday, July 9th. And then Thursday, July 22nd. All 4 dates will be from 10 a.m. to noon. Go to RoswellInvaders.com to sign up and for more information. Also, the Roswell Invaders will have their youth baseball camps again. 4 different dates, 4 different dates, a 3-hour window. This is for kids age 6 through 17, and cost is $35. And each kid will receive a camp T-shirt. They ask that each kid comes dressed up in their baseball uniform and with their own bat and glove. But it'll be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday, June 14th. Then they'll do it again on Monday, June 21st. Then in July on Thursday, July 8th, and then Monday on July 19th. Again, for more information about the Roswell Invaders Youth Baseball Camp or Read with Invaders events, please log on to their website, RoswellInvaders.com. Payments can be made day of by cash, check, or credit card. Again, go to RoswellInvaders.com. You can see more about this. See the baseball schedule so you can get out there and plan some games out at Joe Bauman Stadium. And, of course, if you want to get some Roswell Invader swag, get your hats and uniforms and shirts and all kind of stuff, RoswellInvaders.com. Don't forget, First Blood Drive for the month of June here in Roswell will be on Thursday, June 3rd at the Vitalant office from 1:30 to 5. Call or text Stephanie with Vitalant to get an appointment, 575-840-8178. Again, that's 575-840-8178. All right, we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. A man in eastern China has contracted what might be the world's first human case of the H10N3 strain of bird flu. The 41-year-old man was hospitalized in late April and is in stable condition. The Chinese government says the risk of large-scale spread is low. No human case of H10N3 has been reported elsewhere. Moderna has started an application for full U.S. approval of its COVID-19 vaccine. Currently, it's only authorized for emergency use. The announcement comes several weeks after Pfizer sought full approval for its vaccine in the U.S. Thousands of Australian meat workers have had no work for a second day after a cyber attack crippled the world's largest meat processing company.
Australian Agriculture Minister David Littleproud says it might take days for production to resume. JBS is Australia's largest meat and food processing company with 47 facilities. JBS USA says it was the target on Sunday of an organized cybersecurity attack affecting some of its servers supporting its North American and Australian IT systems.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Hundreds of people gathered for an interfaith service dedicating a prayer wall outside a church in Tulsa, Oklahoma's Greenwood neighborhood. The Reverend Robert Turner of Tulsa's historic Vernon AME Church talked about the wall that survived the destruction of the massacre in 1921.
The only thing we have that's still standing is this basement. And this exterior wall, God led me in inspiration from the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem to become a prayer wall for racial healing.
Today, President Biden travels to Tulsa to mark the 100th anniversary of the massacre. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I have a traumatizing childhood memory of an Easter egg hunt. The big hunt was a big deal in our family, and I have this memory of running and excitedly reaching for eggs, only to have my big brother and sister sweep in and steal them at the last second. It's Ryan, and unfortunately, this is a traumatizing reality our Faith and Family Mortgage team is seeing from families across the country. Families are finding their dream home, only to have it pulled away by another hunter at the last second. At United Faith Mortgage, we unfortunately cannot scare off the other hunters, but we can very quickly get you pre-approved and make it look as good as possible to sellers. And then, once you do grab that Easter egg,
see our story and read how our direct lender advantage can often save your family monthly and lifelong money at UnitedFaithMortgage.com.
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Meadow Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1335. RAC NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
A manhunt continues for 3 masked suspects who opened fire early Sunday morning outside a Miami banquet hall. Here's Bob Agnew.
2 men died, 21 others were wounded in a shooting authorities say had spread terror and grief throughout their communities. Police released a snippet from a surveillance video that showed a white SUV driving into an alley at the strip mall housing the El Mula Banquet Hall in northwest Miami-Dade. 3 people get out of the vehicle, 1 gripping a handgun, the other 2 seen carrying what police have described as assault-style rifles. Police are appealing for the community's help in tracking down the suspects. Bob Agnew reporting.
There's a special congressional election in New Mexico today to fill a seat left vacant by Interior Secretary Deb Haaland as she joined the Biden cabinet. Democrats hope to keep the seat in the 1st Congressional District, which has become increasingly progressive. A Republican last won the district in 2006. News and analysis at townhall.com. One of the world's top women tennis players has withdrawn from the French Open.
Naomi Osaka, who decided not to talk to the media at the French Open, says on Twitter that, quote, the best thing for the tournament is if she withdraws from the Grand Slam event. Osaka is a 4-time Grand Slam champion and former #1 ranked player. She was fined $15,000 after she skipped the post-match news conference following her first-round victory on Sunday. Osaka also said on Twitter that she thinks the best thing for the tournament and other players and my well-being is that I withdraw so that everybody can get back to focusing on the tennis. She also wrote that she suffered long bouts of depression since winning the 2018 U.S. Open. I'm Shelley Adler.
One other sports note, in Major League Baseball, the losing streak continues for the Baltimore Orioles. They have lost 14 games in a row. It's the longest losing drought in the majors in 8 years. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number.
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy, not Monday, it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
welcome to Tuesday.
Like a Monday.
Yeah.
Feels like a Monday.
Walks like a Monday, talks like a Monday.
I'm going to say it's Monday all freaking day today.
Yeah.
But, Tuesday.
But it is Tuesday.
Kickstarting that week a day later.
And people go back to work up north and everything with election today, special election for, of course, CD1.
Mm-hmm.
Today's that day where they decide who's going to fill that seat. So, we don't get to say in that one, but I'm sure people have thoughts one way or another on how that should go. We'll see, I'm guessing, by the end of the day on how that ends out.
I choose to not, in most things, have thoughts. I found it serves me and my surroundings best if I just don't participate.
It's like the line from Dodgeball. Fine if you set a bar too high, it just makes the bowler lower, and then they're really easy to achieve, and you feel better about yourself.
That's actually literally a line from The Simpsons. It's Marge Simpson saying, aim low. Aim so low that when you fail, no one actually knows that you failed.
That's a philosophy.
Doggone right.
Yeah. Well, happy start of your work week, despite the fact that it is not Monday. So hope all of you are having a wonderful day so far. We do have more rain coming. We'll get you up to date on the weather.
Yeah.
Pretty much all week we have rain chances, so including this afternoon. And they're still throwing in some of those storms could be severe, at least for the next couple days on some of these. So
all these student athletes spend their whole last couple of years just, waiting to get back on the field and waiting for the COVID to wrap up. They're like, we can play again. Weather delays?
Yeah.
Now we got to compete with God and Mother Nature. Great.
Well, softball and baseball, they just always deal with weather. In spring, if it's not, the rains, it's wind. So they're used to this, I think. But I think they're the ones left pretty much, right? Is softball, baseball, and
I think
maybe one or two others. But
I
most
think
of it's kind of wrapped up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty much wrapped for the season.
I think so too. But anyway, enjoy the weather or not enjoy it, depending on your. I'm
good day to get out there and fly a kite.
I love rain and all that. Go with that. Don't need it all at once. Don't need it to flood. Don't need all that. But we need the moisture. So I will accept it begrudgingly in this. If there's no way I'm gonna get it, then we'll take it, I guess.
I kept having the mental analogy yesterday. I know this is silly, but I pictured the storm as like a touring rock band.
Okay.
Like they swept through town and like had an effect. Like they rocked us. And then I kept getting the things about how they're moving to like Lincoln County.
Good night, Detroit.
It's like they dropped the mic and took the show back on the road. And they're humping equipment up the hill to Doso as we speak.
That's right.
But I just imagine that as like the storm system is just like this traveling thing. It's just like, we bring the rain and the destruction wherever we go.
Just like the circus.
Bring destruction everywhere we go. Yeah, it's like the circus. It comes and stays with you for a year and a half.
That's not how I meant it, but sorry about that.
I traveled with the circus. Actually, no, I was gonna travel with the circus. I ended up moving to Roswell. I'll never forget that the longest that guy has ever been in one place in one time is in Roswell.
Yeah,
that's insane to me.
Well, it's all about perspective in your life, and sometimes and where you see things and how you live it. So I imagine he sees things probably a lot different than we do when you're living the life of a nomad for the most part. And that's basically life in the circus is nomadic. So.
To spend every 2 weeks be in a different place, and then for a year and a half to spend it all looking at one place, and that one place had to be Roswell.
And then you grow up in a family, as a child you're brought into that world, and that's all you know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it's neat and interesting, but it's about perspective, just kind of thing. And like the longest I ever spent was in one location was a year, his whole life. And what's he probably in his 20s, I'm guessing. I don't know. He was pretty young, 21, 22, pretty young guy. So yeah.
And he had to spend it in Roswell, but he also had to spend it in Roswell during the driest year I think maybe we've ever had on record.
Well, they leave and now the rain comes.
That's what I'm saying. It feels weird, doesn't it?
Think there was coincidence?
Some kind of weird circus comes to town and it takes the rain with it. They bring the drought.
Yeah, it took the drought with it. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll take the moisture.
Absolutely.
Not the preferred method, but it is what it is.
I will say this. It is very odd and off-putting now to drive by the fairgrounds and not see that setup. Just because you got so used to it, it's very odd to just see an open
just
field.
part of your background now.
Right,
Well,
like-
we'll get used to it again.
It used to feel like there used to be so much more there. Now it's just like...
Didn't they took it down for months, though? There was a couple months
there.
there.
They took the tent down, yes. But you could always see the remnants of the
trailers,
tents and the trailers,
the life around it. Yeah.
So it's very odd to just look out and see just a field now.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty caught up on my wrestling documentaries. I have not seen Sunday Night's Treasures with Jake the Snake, but I've seen everything else.
They didn't put, at least not that I could find, the Warriors Vice or A&E documentary up on
and I've
YouTube.
seen them both now.
And I will say that from what I've heard, the Vice one, the Dark Side one, was a little disappointing. Because they didn't do any kind of deep dive into or any specific talking about the steroids specifically scandal.
The steroid stuff, they did back off a little bit. They didn't talk. The most negative they got with him was his time when he was getting a little like racist out there and he's making just dumb statements. And you're like, what is he thinking? You know?
He wasn't. I mean, he was.
It wasn't even like pro-conservative. It was past that. It was going into hate speech. And you're just like, what are you doing, dude? You know?
Simmer down. Yeah. And then the other thing they said was they didn't talk at all about his jump to the WCW in the 90s. Like they completely glazed over that, which is odd because that's where a lot of turmoil happened. That's where he actually had his major falling out with Vince. I think it was something like he threatened to take. He had the title.
Yeah.
He threatened to take the title to WCW if Vince didn't pay him $300,000 for one.
Yeah,
show.
the letter. They don't. They go into all that on the Dark Side one.
Did they?
Not so much on the A&E one.
Okay.
But yes, they talk about the letter very intently on the Dark Side version.
Okay.
And so they explained the letter and all
there
that.
was there was a whole thing, and actually, I don't know if they dove into
Vince wrote him a letter back when he gave him a back. I guess he had him in the office and handed in the letter that responding to his letter. So it was kind of
responded in kind.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, there was a falling out. I'm sure they dove into this a little bit. There was a falling out for a long time between Helbig and McMahon, to the point where WWE actually they released a documentary and then retconned that documentary when they welcomed Warrior back into the Hall of Fame. They released the life and self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And then they put out another one that was like positive about it. Like it was, kind of showing the matches and more positive aspects. So it was funny that they put out this whole thing, basically destroying his name. And then they, like 5 years later, they put another documentary out. It's like, forget about that.
Yeah.
I never said anything.
The A&E version talks with his wife that he had when he passed.
Oh, does it? Okay.
And his kids there. The Dark Side spent more time with his first wife, the wife that was kind of with him through most of the early days and all of the getting into wrestling and things like that. So it's a bit of a different story. By the way, his current wife and daughters, or the most recent wife, he's passed on, but his wife at the time of his death and his daughters, they all live in Santa Fe.
Really?
They live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, the Warriors. They listed, and they're still, their last name is Warrior, where he legally changed his name to Warrior.
Did he change his name to Warrior?
No. It was, his last name was Warrior. So he was
Jim Warrior?
Jim Warrior,
Right.
instead of Hellwig or whatever his name is.
I mean, I don't know. I heard that he had changed his name to Warrior. I didn't know if it was the first name or last name, if he just changed it. Like
and
Madonna.
he did that because WWE owned Ultimate Warrior.
Right, he wanted the trademark.
He wanted it to do his whole Warrior brand of his public speaking and all that. That's where he got down into that stuff. That was all around that time with the Warrior stuff. But anyway, so when they interviewed the wife, the one that lives in Santa Fe, and the two daughters, one's into like MMA or something, and the other's like into ballet or something. But anyway, they all, when they listed their names, it was, whatever their first name is and Warrior.
Where's that reality show? I mean, that would be We're the Warriors. I could see that happening.
So if you go around and tootle and diddy bopping around Santa Fe and you see Warrior on a mailbox, that's probably the Ultimate Warrior's wife's house and daughters.
I mean, you can't miss the mailbox. It's painted up with like red and red and yellow.
Yeah. It's got this hair off the top
fangs.
that just sticks way up and teased out. And then the mailbox has got these pink and yellow ribbons tied real tightly around the pole.
Turns out when you're looking for your warrior family, you got to be a little more specific. Warrior family dentistry, Alabama family dentistry. I'll tell you what, you're getting your dentistry done in Alabama, you probably are going to the Warriors. Warrior Family Ministries, impacting families with hope.
All right.
From the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Warriors got a lot of name uses there, but it was pretty good. The other one I watched was Sunday night. They did the biography was on Mick Foley.
Oh,
and that was a good one.
Nice.
That was a good 2-hour thing on Mick Foley. I thoroughly enjoyed that, his life, and it just at the end of the day, I think he's just a guy that's
loves taking a bump. I mean, honestly,
Well, I think he's got the biggest heart on the planet.
He does.
Like he's just the guy that loves to entertain and to give, and he's going to probably do that until he drops dead at some point. That's just the way that guy is.
From the thing that he was doing to entertain you.
Yeah, that's just how he's wired. It's just how he is wired, and it's But I got to say, as far as like of all the guys that they interview so far, like he's probably the class act of the bunch, if you think about it. I mean, his characters and all that, but as far as his heart and his just and he wasn't one that kind of fell down some of the obstacles that wrestling has with the drugs and with the lifestyle and everything else. He was a family guy. He met his wife young, and that probably saved his life. Right. He probably, because he was dedicated to his family instead of going out and doing the partying and all the stuff that the guys would do after the match. He's getting on a plane to go home.
It also helped that he was able to compartmentalize his crazy.
Yeah.
Into Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind. He was able to kind of like have those characters and have his crazy exist outside of him.
Yeah.
And then he could just be Mick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. He was Mick Foley.
Because if you look at Cactus Jack, that dude was a psychopath. If you look at Mick Foley, that dude was, out of his mind, deranged.
Yeah.
If you look at Dude Love, that dude was pretty cool at a party.
But I think where he was good at it when he's not on the stage or in the spotlight, he's Mick Foley.
He's just Mick. Yeah.
And guys like the Ultimate Warrior, I don't know if that happened. The cameras turned off. They're still Ultimate Warrior.
He had a hard time breaking kayfabe.
Yeah. And that's that might be.
I gotta wonder how many times at like fan conventions he just blew out his sinuses by going every time he breathed. I mean, that just had to kill his entire like upper respiratory system.
So I mean, I'm guessing there's something there, but it was pretty good. If you like, I thoroughly enjoyed them. They were good. Here's what we got going on this hour. Last week, Gene Dow on our sister station 990 AM, he hosts the Good Morning Artesia show there. He interviewed. They've got. If you haven't heard about this, coming up June 11th through the 14th, there are coming to Artesia is the 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit that's put on by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, a nonprofit organization that helps first responders from the 9/11 stuff. But anyway, they got this awesome mobile museum for 9/11, and it's been never been to New Mexico before, and it's coming to New Mexico for the first time here next week. It'll be in Artesia, and it's going to be, I believe they're putting it. Let me see. It's going to be at 511 West Texas City Hall in Beige Veterans Park there. It will be there June 11th through June 14th. And it's actually going to be there the 10th. And that day, I think, is reserved for because it's actually going to start here. It's going to come to Roswell June 10th. And then they're going to have a full escort from Roswell to Artesia and on the 10th. And then I think it opens that day for first responders. On the 10th, and then the general public is able to enjoy it the 11th through the 14th. But we last week, Gene Dow interviewed Charles Gussman. He, I believe, he's one of the curators of the museum. He was actually a New York City, one of the precinct fire chiefs there during 9/11. He was actually on vacation. He was in Bermuda when it all went down, and then had to get back and everything else and all that craziness. But yeah, he was definitely part of all. But anyway, Gene interviewed him and also his daughter, who's an author and part of the Tunnel to Towers. So we're going to play the interview with with Charles Gusman here in just a few, about a 20-minute interview, and then we'll play the interview with his daughter, who's written a book about this whole thing. We'll pull that in at some time. But June 11th through the 14th is when the Tunnel to Towers Never Forget mobile exhibit will be in Artesia. All right, it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things could get a little bit bumpy again today with some showers and thunderstorms over our area this afternoon. Some of those storms could have large hail and damaging wind. Our afternoon high today around 80. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, partly cloudy overnight and down to the low 60s. For tomorrow, we'll start off fair, but we could pick up more afternoon storms and our high in the mid-80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. And currently 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 81%. Winds are, in fact, calm at the moment. We do have a 30% chance at rain showers today. Once again, as Steve mentioned, some could be severe. We're looking at cloudy skies. Some sun will come out at some point today. Expect highs upper 70s, near 80 today with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. A 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. Again, some of those storms could be severe, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 56 with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, we're looking at a 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms. Once again, some storms could be severe. Mostly sunny. Otherwise, a high of 82 on Wednesday. North winds 5 to 10. 30% chance of rain Wednesday night. Thursday, we're looking at a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny otherwise with a high of 85. Friday, we're looking at a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms as well. Otherwise, once again, partly cloudy. Expect highs there in the mid-80s, 85 or so. And then looking at your weekend, 20% chance of rain Saturday. Mostly sunny otherwise with highs right around 90. Sunday, a 20% chance of rain with highs around 94 under partly cloudy skies. So, and then they say no rain mentions of Monday at this point, but we'll see. That's a whole week away. We'll see how that goes. All right, it is 9:23. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, our interview that Gene had with Charles Gusman talking about the mobile exhibit and all that. So I'm going to introduce the interview because the way it kind of starts, it just starts. So I'll lead into it on the other side. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Your Roswell Napa Auto Parts store wants to send out a big shout out and congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. Congratulations on achieving such a big accomplishment from your local Roswell Napa Auto Parts store, your home for everything this Father's Day. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
Bob Reed Pest Control is committed to providing the most modern pest control management solutions for homes and businesses. Bob Reed can handle every aspect of pest control, from general insects to trees, shrubs, yard treatments, and commercial weed control. They're the only authorized Centricon termite elimination system operator in southeastern New Mexico. No job is too big or too small. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today. Southeastern New Mexico's pest management professionals, 623-5344, and find them fast in names and numbers.
Ladies and gentlemen, So Easy Sewing finally has our most popular sewing machines and sergers back in stock. We have the Zest, our entry-level machine, on sale for $149. We have the Amazing Jazz 2, which boasts a 12-inch throat, on sale for $7.99, and our #1 selling Verve sewing embroidery combo machine on sale for $9.99. All machines include lifetime instruction on the use of the machine. Hurry in to 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell to claim your new machine before they're gone. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
Loveless Healthcare Center is proud to offer pediatric services and is now taking new patients. Loveless offers a full spectrum of pediatric services, including complete well child checkups, immunization, sports physicals, and treatment of illnesses such as the common cold. Know the ones you love most will receive the best pediatric care at Loveless Healthcare Center. To schedule an appointment, call 575-625-3222.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning. Fergalicious. From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who are you going to call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit? Fergalicious. Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love. Fergalicious.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:26. So here is the interview. It's Gene Dow and I believe Debbie Brown also from the Artesia Chambers with them in studio. And they're talking with Charles Gussman. Again, he is with the Tunnels to Towers Foundation, talking about the 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit. They walk right in, and they're actually, I believe they start talking with him about, his time, when 9/11 happened and how he's getting back to the States and all that. So that's the first part of the interview, and then it goes into the Tunnels for Towers stuff. But here is that interview with Gene Dow and Debbie Brown from the Artesia Chamber interviewing Charles Gussman from Tunnels to Towers Foundation. Enjoy.
First of all, it's my pleasure to help you folks out in any way because you are helping us out. And I just want to reciprocate. So whatever I can do to help you, please ask me, and if I can, I will.
All right. Well, I think Debbie has a couple questions she'd like to ask you, so why don't we start with you, Debbie?
Yes, and they're just a little minor. But I did, when we were speaking yesterday, Charlie, I was kind of going over your bio with you a little bit, and I had mentioned to you that you had began as a firefighter with FDNY with Engine 246. In Brooklyn, and you corrected me. Correct. You corrected me, and you said that's 246. Now, is there a reason for that? Is that because that's more intelligible over the radio or less confusing? I was just curious.
No, each company throughout the city, and for that matter, throughout the country, so that we can when they arrive on the scene, they have a number on their engine company. Sure. 246, 243 in Brooklyn, or 169 and 166 trucks. In Manhattan, the numbers are different. They typically go to two numbers instead of three numbers. So that, and it's a little bit of a pride thing that guys are from 82 engine up in the Bronx, 33 truck up in the Bronx, out in Queens, Staten Island, and we can tell by looking at their numbers, we can tell whether or not what borough they're from. It gets confusing, but we understand the principle behind it.
I get that. Thank you for explaining that to me. I was a little confused. But I do have one question for you, and this is an important question for me. Does it help you to tell your story about your experiences with the recovery process? Because I understand you were abroad when 9/11 happened, and you had to wait a few days before airspace opened again before you could get back home. And then to see what you saw when you got back, does it help you to share your story and your experiences? Is that healing for you, or?
Well, and yes, my wife and I were vacationing in Bermuda. We had done that for many years in September. Dodged a few hurricanes because that is hurricane season, but it was a wonderful time to visit there. And of course, we were watching the events of 9/11 unfold on CNN, just like the rest of the world was watching the events. Could not get home. All the airspace was shut down. No vessels were able to leave ports. And I just called the U.S. consulate the next day and said I was a chief on the New York City Fire Department. They put me in touch with an insurance company who happened to have their corporate jet in Bermuda. It was stranded. They had some of their corporate executives from the States over there for a meeting, and they said that they would, as soon as they got clearance to fly back, they would take my wife and I back. They did that Friday night. This was a Tuesday. 9/11, 2001 was a Tuesday. It was Election Day in New York City.
Correct.
And so that Friday night, we were in a restaurant, and they came, notified me that they were going to pick us up Saturday morning. took us to the airport in Bermuda, flew us into Philadelphia in their corporate jet, which, by the way, as an aside, it's tragic as it was, but that's a really nice way to fly in those corporate jets. It's very, very, very nice. We landed in Philadelphia, and they had a limousine on the tarmac waiting for my wife and I. Wow. Drove us up to Staten Island, and that afternoon I was on the Pile.
Yes.
We referred to it as the Pile.
I heard that. I read about that.
Yeah, when it was above grade, whenever it was above grade, it was the Pile. And then when we got below grade, then it became the Pit. But to answer your question, about telling the stories, I try to put everything in perspective when talking to people about what the rescue and recovery operation was like. Trying not to be too vivid.
Correct.
But I want people to get a perspective of what our operations were. As an example, people don't understood, they probably never even heard, that nothing left that site unless it had been searched twice.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Everything was sifted through before it went on a payloader to be taken out of the site. Everything. Police officers, firefighters, and using rakes and shovels and backhoes, they sifted through everything. And then it was put on in a payloader, taken out of the site and taken to the Staten Island landfill, and then it was searched a third time.
My goodness.
We were looking for body parts. We were looking for wallets, watches, rings, phones, anything like that that we could associate with a loved one and give it back to their families. People don't understand what it entailed, what the search and recovery entailed. There were areas there where, because there was so much steel in the area and it was very dangerous, we would get the guys out of those areas, lift the steel safely, and then they could go in and work those particular plots of land.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to give a little perspective on what our operations were like so that people can understand it.
Right.
I think that's important to relay.
Absolutely. The other thing I think that's important to mention, and I'm sure you may agree, or is in the midst of all of this tragedy, the term, I guess, or the phrase, whatever that comes to mind, is something to the effect of a phoenix rising from the ashes. You have humanity and people that came together in the midst of this horrific disaster, and what culminated from that disaster was humankind and the human spirit coming together to help each other. What was that like? When you saw that, did you get to experience that?
We did. It was a wonderful feeling. I'll give you an example that when in the early stages of the rescue and the recovery, things were kind of haphazard on the Pile, and I say that because there were so many well-intentioned civilians that were volunteering their time on the Pile. And we eventually, the fire department and the police department in the city of New York, they had to get that organized. They couldn't let anything going haphazardly. And so we would be bussed in, firefighters and police officers. They would gear us up with protective equipment and then bus us in from Randall's Island to the site in the early stages, and along West Street in Manhattan, people were lined up, applauding, honking their horns. It was a thank you to us for what we were doing, mm-hmm. And it was very touching. It was very appreciated. Right. We kind of lost that after a few years, but life goes on. But it was very, very emotional when you would drive up to the site and get that response from people.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget. During the operation lasted about 8 months throughout the winter. I was there just a little over 3 months at the site. And one of the things I'll never forget is that we had a large tent. It was a large white tent on West Street. And that's where we were fed. You could go there, you could take a break. There was always a hot meal. They had massage therapists there. They had counselors there.
Oh, goodness.
And the people that were manning this tent, it was huge, big tent. And these were all volunteers from different church organizations throughout the country. They came and they volunteered their time a week at a time. And then they were just so happy to be able to serve us, to listen to us. It was truly touching. And always appreciated, something that's indelibly etched in your mind, and you don't forget things like that.
Right.
I know it's been 20 years. Has the recovery effort officially ended, or are there still items that are still being recovered to this day from that event?
It has, for the most part. The recovery effort has been ended, although within the last 2 years, I believe if I'm not mistaken, you have to keep in mind that the high-rise buildings that surrounded the World Trade Center site, pardon me, many of them were office buildings, some were apartment buildings,
right?
And all of those buildings, the rooftops, everything had to be searched.
Right.
It wasn't just the 16-acre site that comprised the World Trade Center.
Mm-hmm.
And they did find body parts up on the roofs and facades of some of these buildings. And about 2 years ago, I believe they did find another remnant of some of the 9/11. And keep in mind, too, that over 1,000 bodies were never recovered.
Right, because the rubble was just so compacted. And
I was there for a little over 3 months, and I never saw a desk, a door, a chair. You didn't see things like that. It was the damage was so devastating, and there's over 1,000 remains that were never recovered.
Yeah.
Those people who were able to get there or retrieve a portion of their loved ones were very, very lucky. And there is a site in the museum, there's a special area in the museum below grade, which is not open to the public. It is a portion set aside for the New York City Medical Examiner. The DNA technology, as advanced as it is even 20 years later today, still has not been able to identify some of those remains. So they're what they believe would be pieces of body parts that have not been identified. Those everything is stored in the museum behind that closed section. Family members of the deceased are welcome to go there and grieve, but it is not open to the general public inside the museum.
What was it like watching the new replacement building? The new was it one? The new building that is there in that site. Watching that go back up, because the terrorists knocked the World Trade Center down, and as a country and as a city, we built it right back and have a new building in its place. What was it like watching that go up into the sky as a message to the people that would attack us that you can't stop us from doing what we want to do?
It is the resolve of our nation, isn't it? Is that you may kick us in the butt, but we are going to get up, and we are going to fight you. We're not going to stay down. and our nation came together, and the leaders of our nation said this: we are going to do this. It has to be done to build this building, the Freedom Tower. Appropriately, it is appropriately named. And I don't know if you're aware of the height of the Freedom Tower. It is measures to the very tip of the antenna, 1,776 feet. And of course, that is the birthday. Yes. That is the birthday of our nation, 1776. It was purposely done like that, so that it would be a reminder of when our country was formed. And it's wonderful, absolutely beautiful building. There is I guess it's on the 105th floor or 6th, somewhere like that. On top of the building, there is a 2-story observation tower that you can get a 360-degree panoramic view of the Manhattan and New Jersey and all points, north, south, east, and west. Is spectacular.
Yeah.
There is a restaurant up there, just like there was a restaurant in the World Trade Center.
Yes.
Windows on the World was in the World Trade Center.
Windows of the World.
So the Freedom Tower and the elevator ride to this Freedom Tower up to those hundreds of floors is, I guess it takes about 45 seconds, something like that. I've experienced, but it's just a spectacular ride. Taking that elevator up to the Freedom Tower, it is just it's a wonderful exhibit. You have to pay to get in there.
Sure.
But it is well worth the ride, and it is adjacent to the memorial plot of land. It does not touch the footprint of the north or south tower. It is on that plot of land, but the footprint of the north and south towers, that's where the reflection pools are.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's on my bucket list to go see.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
No, go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, no, it's quite all right. And Deborah, if you wanted to come as a volunteer, I am not a tour guide, but as a volunteer for the Stephen Siller Tunnels to Towers Foundation, I've taken people that contacted the foundation, said, listen, I'm going to be in town and I want to go to the memorial, I want to go to the museum, and they make arrangements, and I've gone on quite a few tours with these folks and trying to give everybody a perspective of what they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I volunteer my time. Matter of fact, May the 8th, Saturday, there are fire cadets from the Beaver Falls Fire Department. I believe that's in Minnesota. But I'm going to be meeting them and their chaperones and taking them to the memorial and to the museum and try and give them, again, a perspective of what our operations were like.
Well, you mentioned,
I'm sorry,
of course...
Gene, you had a question.
No, I was just going to ask you about the Tunnel to Towers mobile exhibit, which, of course, you're going to be in Artesia to greet the visitors and talk about the exhibit in June. And we look forward to meeting you and have you out here in New Mexico. Yes. But as people go through this exhibit and they take the time and look at the exhibits, maybe have their questions answered, what do you hope people take away from their visit and their experience with this particular mobile exhibit?
Well, first of all, the tractor trailer, it is what we would consider an everyday 18-wheel tractor trailer, 80 foot in length. But when it is parked and ready for the exhibit, it measures approximately 1,100 square feet of exhibit space. We have a ramp that is handicap accessible that will lead up to the interior of the exhibit. There are some artifacts that were recovered from the World Trade Center site that were donated to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation by different individuals that these folks can look at and see and read. We have actual voice recordings that we play of the Manhattan Borough Dispatcher, Fire Department Borough Dispatcher, speaking to the units that were responding to the World Trade Center site that day. We look at the exhibit, and we try and impress upon people that we don't want them to forget what happened that day. We encourage families to bring their children, especially the teenagers.
Right.
They were not born. This is all part of history.
Right.
Just like Pearl Harbor was history to me. We encourage them to bring those children so that they can see and they can listen to some of the events that transpired that day. Myself and two of my good friends and colleagues, John Matarana and Eddie Breen, they were both retired battalion chiefs as well. And we are there to answer any questions. The back of the wall of one of the exhibit, when you look at it, people would look at it and say, "Well, they're just pictures back," but they're not. And I try and tell them it is a story of, if you look at it from left to right, of our operations, as devastating as it was. We give them, and when you go from left to right, the debris that was cleared away, the starting of the building of the Freedom Tower as it exists now. So, I try and show everybody what they're looking at, so they'll have a perspective of what, instead of just looking at a picture and saying, "Oh, well, there is significance behind it."
Right.
So that's what we try and do.
And that's important
People will
for our
never,
youth. Absolutely.
Most people will never get a chance to come to New York City to see the World Trade Center Museum. And so the Tunnel to Towers Foundation decided that, well, okay, we're going to bring this to America. And they did. And so far we've visited 32 states. New Mexico, I believe, is going to be the 33rd state because it's never been to New Mexico before.
Right.
We've had over 500,000 visitors to the exhibit. We've had over 142 event days that the exhibits were shown, state fairs, corporate foundations will bring it to their community because they want people to know and help our foundation at the same time.
Well, Charles, we really appreciate your time today. We really look forward to this exhibit coming to Artesia. Debbie's been working really hard to make it happen, and there's going to be some great things planned for when you guys get here. I'm knocking on wood, hoping we're actually going to broadcast our morning show from your exhibit on that. I think that Friday that the first day that you're there. So we're just going to encourage as many people as possible from Artesia and surrounding areas, West Texas and so forth, to come and meet you and the other volunteers. And we just look forward to you being here in June.
Well, we look forward to the visit as well. Again, we're volunteers, and John and Eddie and myself, we love doing this. It's a wonderful cause. It was for our fallen brothers. And keep in mind, too, is that, we lost 343 firefighters that day.
Right.
Almost 30 police officers, almost 3,000 people between the World Trade Center, Shanksville in Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon.
Right.
But since then, in these 20 years, we lost almost 200 firefighters alone to cancer that is specifically rated related to their
Collateral
operations. Yes, and we're still losing them.
Right.
20 years later.
Wow. That's
so. It's.
Well, I think it's.
If you ask these men again, would they do the same thing? Yes.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Tragedy in southeast New Mexico, as authorities say a woman drowned after she got caught in a flash flood in Hondo Sunday night. Police responded to the call for help along Alamo Canyon Road. When they arrived, they found the vehicle had been swept away due to flash flooding. The driver not in the car. The body of Heather Garrett was found as many as 6 miles downstream from where her car got caught in the floodwaters. More New Mexico schools are committing to offering full-time in-person learning in the fall, with some virtual learning options. Schools confirming their commitment to widespread in-person learning over the last several weeks include districts that were the most hesitant to reopen, including Albuquerque and Santa Fe. That signals that parents across the state can expect to send their kids through the school doors in the fall. That's a look at local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
These are the same people that promised keep your doctor plan and save money. How did that work out? The same people that can't keep their cities or their states safe and secure and establish law and order. The same states that have atrocious failing track records on education because of their unholy alliance with teachers' unions and the corrupt money that is funneled to keep them in power. The same people that bankrupted Social Security and Medicare. Now they're going to come in and, offer you all that stuff for free, and we're going to take it from those people, the rich people. Okay, what are the rich people going to do? They're not going to invest their money.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, I'm learning so many great things about CBD from my team. Linda, for example, loves it for sleep and relaxation.
Sean, I can't say enough good things about this product, and it really has worked wonders. Gets all that anxiety out of my shoulders, and I go right to sleep at night after I take one of their sleep gummies.
She swears by it, as do many of my friends. It's a natural, healthy alternative to pharmaceuticals. By the way, ask your doctor, and I bet you're going to hear about the potential health benefits of CBD, and that's because it interacts with our regulatory system responsible for sleep and emotional response, inflammation, and even memory. The bottom line is CBD could be your natural path to better sleep, a calm mind, and discomfort after physical activity. They now have over 2 million customers, no prescription required. CB Distillery, the only source we here at the Sean Hannity Show trust. Just go to cbdistillery.com, enter the promo code PATRIOT, and you get my special discount. Just enter the word PATRIOT when you go to cbdistillery.com.
Not available in Idaho, Iowa, and South Dakota.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things could get a little bit bumpy again today with some showers and thunderstorms over our area this afternoon. Some of those storms could have large hail and damaging wind. Our afternoon high today around 80. Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, partly cloudy overnight and down to the low 60s. For tomorrow, we'll start off fair, but we could pick up more afternoon storms and our high in the mid 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Greg Clugston. U.S. construction spending posted a modest 0.2% gain in April as strength in housing offset further weakness in non-residential construction. London's Heathrow Airport has reopened a terminal that was shut down during the coronavirus pandemic.
The terminal will handle passengers arriving from high-risk countries. Britain has barred travelers from a red list of 43 coronavirus hotspots, including India, Brazil, and Turkey. UK citizens and residents returning from those countries face a mandatory 10-day quarantine in a hotel.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The movie theater chain AMC is raising more than $230 million through an $8.5 million share sale. It's cashing in on the meme stock frenzy that has sent its stock price up more than 1,100% over the past year. With business, I'm Greg Clugston.
Well, the geraniums were a little slow at getting started this year, but now they're ready to go. Hi, this is Jim Gill with a lesson in delayed gratification. At Roswell Seed Company, we grow our own geraniums, and that old polar vortex sure slowed them down. But now they may be the sturdiest, most colorful geraniums you've ever put in the ground. So come get yours today. Kind of like your neighbor's son who's still living in the basement. Late bloomers can be the brightest of them all. Or maybe not. Have you seen that kid?
Customizable office equipment is one stop away at PTS Office Systems. Of course, you and the business next door do different things, so you need different office equipment. PTS Office Systems has fully customizable office equipment in stock, waiting to be delivered to your business. Get fully customized office equipment to meet your office's specific needs. The day and age of one-size-fits-all office equipment is gone. Shop around at PTS Office Systems today at 2nd and Main in downtown Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9:57 here. Got a few minutes before we wrap up today's show. We didn't get a chance. You know what? There's a couple. Actually, I did. My wife called me in early. She's like, "Did you tell the story from Saturday?" I was like, "No. I forgot, and I need to do that because we almost died Saturday." And you're like, what? Kind of did. And unfortunately, 3 minutes does not do this story justice. So I'm going to have to save it till tomorrow. Sorry, I know. But yeah, we almost got killed Saturday. Yeah, that was, and I don't have, it was an interesting story. We went out and about. And someone almost killed us on Saturday.
You can't hit me with that 3 minutes away from the end of the show.
I can't finish the story, so I can't.
All I have to say is, Kevin, I will get you your money. Okay?
You know what we could do in 3 minutes? You want to grab a bottle?
Ooh.
We could do that in 3 minutes. We could do that in 3 minutes. So if you were missing, if you missed what we're talking about here, at the beginning of the show, Sean had saw a TikTok video a couple weeks ago. And it's this apple juice that you buy that it's just apple juice. It's the vessel in which it comes in. It is it's shaped round. It's a round for those watching on camera.
I've gone ahead and put it through the 2-panel. So
the split screen. So you're like, oh, it's just applesauce.
By the way, miss you, Tanner.
Just applesauce, but
juice.
Or apple juice. Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is what makes this fascinating. Yes. That was it.
Yeah, one more time.
And I would like to retort as well.
It just sounds like you're biting into an apple.
It sounds like you bite into an apple when you bite into this plastic bottle.
But it's not. It is
just
some
plastic.
juice. Yeah.
Just juice. Yeah.
So I'm fascinated by this. And the greatest thing is you can take this and they're fun with school kids.
Yeah, my wife's been showing family and people all weekend. I took one of the bottles
spots.
home.
It's like right here on the leaves, mostly.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's where I've been biting
I always
up there.
feel like I'm doing severe damage to my teeth, though.
Yeah, it
when I
doesn't
do
sound good to your mouth, but it's fine.
But it's some great ASMR. So, yeah, ask for it by name. The Martinellis, they're specifically the gold medal apple juice. Shaped like, drink your apple a day is what it says.
Made in California.
Enjoy.
So, there it is. That is what we've been playing with for the last 3 days.
Yep.
And you can get them online.
Yeah, like $20 for a 12-pack.
Yeah, so. But isn't that money well spent to amaze your friends by doing this?
Did you? I mean, are you as excited as we are?
It's kind of fun to do. Yeah, it's a bottle. Makes apple noises. All right, we got to go. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of your day. We'll talk to you bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have a delightful day, everybody.